So tally-ho, my liege. Sir Jethro D. Bodine, at thy service.
What's got into you, boy, and what's that you got into?
These are the kind of royal raiments we's going to be wearing over at your castle.
What?
Hey, Mr. Drysdale called you? You done inherited the doggone castle over to England.
Go on.
Yeah, one of them great big rascals with them open the drawstring.
You grinning me?
No, sir. I was over at the bank when Mr. Drysdale got the word. So I went over to the studio and got us some Queen Elizabeth clothes.
Queen Elizabeth?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, she's the Queen of England. I looked her up in a book. And these are the kind of clothes you got to wear around her.
Everybody?
Wait, just us royal folks. This here was wore by Francis Drake.
Well, I hope it looked better on her.
Francis Drake was a man. A fighting man. A sailor.
Any sailor run around like that better be a fighting man.
Dad, have you seen... Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I didn't know that you... Jeff!
Sir Jethro. Head varlet to His Majesty, the Earl of Clampett.
Jed, what is this?
You don't call him Jed. Why, he is royalty. And you're just a commoner, one of his oafs. You got to bow and scrape and grovel in front of him. And me, too, because I'm his royal nephew.
Give me that piece of leather.
You don't hit the boy.
Hit me? Her? Well, I'd have a throat in a dungeon like that. Oafs don't run around hitting members of the royal family. No, sir, no. Never. Now you done it. Now you done it. Wait till the Queen hears about this. You done laid your hands on my royal person.
You don't get your royal person into some decent clothes, I'm gonna lay more than hands on you.
Really? The boy's excited. He got hold of some story about me inheriting the castle. Let's listen to what he got to say.
I ain't listening to no nut that runs around in velvet bloomers and wears a woman's hat.
These here is royal raiments. This here is what the Queen favors for her knights.
What she sleeps in is her own business.
Mr. Drysdale just called him. That you, Jethro?
Forsooth and verily, my royal maid. Bend your knee to His Highness next to kin, you Saxon dog.
What did you call me?
When you gonna get it through your peasant head that you ain't got royal blood like us?
Now, hold on, Jethro.
But, Uncle Jed, it's true. I mean, sire, she's just your mother-in-law. She ain't blood kin to you like Ellie and me, but that makes her a vassal. She's got to do our bidding and walk 3 paces behind us.
That's nonsense.
No. That's all right, Jed. I don't mind walking behind Jethro.
That's more like it, knave. And when we struts around the castle, she brings up the rear.
That bring it up enough, or do you want another one?
Ellie Mae, what did Mr. Drysdale say?
Oh, he's on his way over. You done inherited yourself a castle.
See? I told you. Quick, everybody. Let's get into our royal raiment. After you, Oaf.
Oh, this is fabulous. Fabulous! I can see it now. The presentation at court. Knighted. A seat in the House of Lords. Luncheon with the Prime Minister. Tea with the Queen.
Chief, Mr. Clampett is hardly prepared for such honors.
Not him, me. I'll handle things just like I do here. The Clampetts will stay at the castle. I'll be up in London, receiving the honors, banking the money.
What money?
From the tenants who live on the 10,000 acres surrounding the castle.
Now, don't get your hopes up too high. If I know Mr. Clampett, he may decide not to go to England at all.
What do you mean? He's got to go. I've got to go. England is my kind of country. That's where I want to live.
But what if your wife doesn't want to go?
You think there's a chance?
I should say don't get your hopes up. The way of royalty is not the way of the Clampetts. They're plain, simple country people with no desire to have...
Dad, this and howdy. Royal cousin, some commoners is here. How you liking the castle dress? Ain't it pretty?
Beautiful.
Yes, but Ellie, they don't wear things.
Quiet.
Doggone! When you hear someone knocking at the moat, you're supposed to let down the drawstring. Tell me something. How do you housebreak a oaf? Oh? I done got her oaf's clothes and everything, but she won't grumble worth shucks. Hey, Oaf! Come on in here.
Jethro says if I don't grovel, the Queen is going to throw me in the Tower of London and feed me to the beef eaters.
That is absolutely preposterous.
See? I told you.
No, I mean... Well, I can see there's a general misconception about modern-day England, which I shall clarify without further ado. Granny, there is no serfdom. You are not an oath. And Jethro, even members of the peerage no longer have the power to rule the lives of others. And Ellie Mae, these costumes are strictly for pageantry. And there is no debtor's prison, no torture for those overdrawn at the bank.
Will you stop putting England down?
You mean the Queen ain't going to feed me to the beef eaters?
Of course not.
Why, you?
Oh, Jimmy, if you done committed high treason against the crown and cited the oath, your head is going to roll.
You better hang on to yours, too.
Don't you touch me, or the royal executioner will lop off your offended member. I am the head varlet to His Majesty, the Earl of Clampett.
Oh, where is the Earl?
He's up in the turret, putting on his royal raiment.
Hey, Paul, we got company.
Nah, not like that. By your leave, sire, 2 vassals beseech your audience.
I ain't coming down wearing these fancy duds.
Oh, please, Mr. Clampett. I mean your lordship. Grant us a boon. We humbly petition your royal presence.
Yeah, come on.
Please, Paul.
Well, all right. This wasn't my idea.
Hot dog. Now you're going to see some class. All hail His Majesty, Earl of Clampett. Kneel, oath.
Yes, you Trying to ruin my life, wreck my career, shatter my dream. I get the Clampetts all steamed up to go to England and claim their castle, and you destroy everything with your big mouth.
What are you raving about? All I did was tell the truth.
That's what I'm raving about. Cut it out.
I know you consider this a great financial opportunity for you and your bank. But think about the Clampetts for a moment.
Okay. Well, that's long enough. Now let's think about me and my bank.
Be reasonable. You'll be in London in your counting house. But those poor, simple hill folk will suddenly find themselves cast adrift in a society so steeped in tradition, so rigid with protocol, they'll be completely lost. They won't know what to do or say or who to turn to.
They'll turn to Lady Jane Hathaway. Who else?
Oh, well, if you have someone...
Lady Jane Hathaway.
Me?
You.
Chief, I'm just plain Jane Hathaway.
Do you think the Crown will overlook your services in converting the peasants of Possum Ridge into the keepers of Clampett Castle?
Chief, this is ridiculous. I could never expect...
Didn't you tell me your ancestors were English?
Well, yes, my great-grandfather and my...
Blood will tell. You belong in the castle. To the man of all, Lady Jane Hathaway of Hathaway Hall.
Hathaway Hall.
Mr. Drydale, I think we better pass on this going to England business. We don't belong in no castle.
Oh, you don't say that. Why, you love Hathaway Hall. Clampett Castle.
You said...
She's changed her mind. She didn't have the complete picture.
No, I do feel you should investigate the situation, Mr. Clampett. You might find that you'd enjoy the English country life.
This place in the country, isn't it?
Oh, yes. The castle sits in the middle of 10,000 acres.
Oh, that'd be a heap of land to work.
Oh, you don't have to work the land.
Oh, we couldn't depend on Granny. She's got her back up by being old.
Granny wouldn't have to work either.
She sure ain't gonna get Jethro behind no mule dressed in them head varlet clothes.
None of you has to work the land. You just enjoy it. You see, it's mostly forests and streams.
Yes, you'd spend your time stalking deer, shooting grouse, fishing, riding to the hounds.
Excuse me, Paul. If and we ain't going to England, can I change back into my breeches?
We better fetch you, Nellie.
Isn't she beautiful? Can't you just see her dancing in the ballroom of the castle?
Yes, with a long line of handsome young Englishmen waiting their turn.
Oh, well, you'd meet some fellers, would you?
Oh, Mr. Clampett, your lovely daughter would be the belle of the countryside.
Well, no. This hill has got more taters in it than I figured.
Are we going, Paul?
Well, we'll study on it. It'll take some doing to swing your granny around.
Ain't nobody throwing me in the Tower of London. Chopping off nothing, neither. What a dead blame nonsense.
Get back into your oaf's clothes.
You get in them.
Hey, hold on there. Are you revolting?
Not as revolting as you.
Hey, listen. We can't show up at our castle without we got us a royal oath.
I ain't open for nobody.
Hey, wait a minute, Granny. You go along as an oath, and quick as we get settled, I'll promote you. I'll make you a scullion or a serf. How about a serf? Or a common scold? Hey, wait a minute. You could be a witch. How about a shrew? Or a loud?
Did I have critters at the castle?
Hundreds of them. There's a private game preserve.
I'll go get ready for the trip.
Now, wait, Ellie. It ain't for positive sure where you going.
Just a minute, Allie. Hold on.
Don't worry, it's in the bag.
I hope you're right.
Where's Jeff?
He just went out the back door.
Please, Granny. It commences an oath. You won't have to grovel. Just cringe a little. Oh, gone. There goes the trip to England.
What do you mean?
A head varlet has got to have himself an oath. Do you think I want to show up over there looking like a dumbbell?
Certainly not. But maybe if...
No use talking about it, Mr. Drysdale. I ain't going if I can't go like royalty. And that takes an oath.
Sir Jethro, I have never let you down yet. One oath coming up.
No, not Lady Jane.
Dog! She's even more oath than Granny.
Yes, isn't she a beauty? Good and sturdy. Show the young master your teeth.
This is going to make Granny happy. Now she can be a drudge or a troll or something. Hey, Granny, good news.
Chief, surely you wouldn't send me to England looking like this.
They sent us Twiggy, didn't they?
I resign.
Oh, no, come on, relax. I was joking. It was just to keep Jethro happy.
Well, somebody should tell Jethro that he's looked up the wrong Queen Elizabeth and is 400 years in the past.
All in good time. Now, let's not rock a happy boat. Now, you get busy and arrange for passports and buy airline tickets for all of us.
Right, Chief. I'll hurry and change.
What do you mean? Change. Maybe oafs go for half air.
What are you doing dressed like that?
I'm going to the passport office with the rest of you.
Not wearing royal raiment, you ain't. You give a drudge an inch and she takes a mile.
Now, hold on. Jed says I'm just as good as the rest of you. He says I'm the royal granny.
He can't just say so. Why, there's got to be a ceremony. Did he take his sword out and drub you?
Of course not.
Then it ain't official.
Tis too.
Tain't either. Boy, if Queen Elizabeth ever finds out the shortcut you peasants is taking, you... Oh, shucks. Kneel down, I'll do it myself.
Pop! Pop! Come running! Jethro done got a knife on Granny!
What's all the commotion out there? Granny, you all right?
It's Sir Granny now. I've done been drunk.
That's right, Pop. We's all one big royal family.
You ain't going to the passport office dressed like that, are you?
Put on your royal duds, like us.
Sure.
Just a minute. We's going to a U.S. government office, right?
Right?
Right.
Well, is it respectful to show up at a place like that wearing strange clothes?
No, it ain't. So get out of it.
It's so proper, like us.
Yeah, sure.
Granny, what's proper around a castle in England is one thing, and we'll be the judge of that when we get there. But as long as we's in this country, we're going to dress American. Now, get changed.
Oh, gone.
Just when I was all decked out like a grand lady.
Howdy, is this the place where you get passports?
That's, right.
We take 4 of them, please, sir. Thank you.
Well, I'll take your applications one at a time. Who would like to be first?
I'll go first, because I was the one with the education. That way they can see how it's done.
Fine. Raise your right hand, please. Swear the statements you're about to make to be the truth.
Yes, sir.
State your name, please,
Jethro.
and your surname.
Sir Jethro.
Sir Jethro.
Yes, sir. Sir Jethro de Bodine, head varlet to the royal family.
That's the royal family.
Yes, sir. The big one is the Earl of Clampett himself. The girl is my royal cousin. a little one. She used to be an oaf, but I done knighted her. His Majesty didn't want us to wear no royal raiments till we got over to our castle.
You have a castle.
Yes, sir. One of them great big rascals with a wall around it and towers and dungeons and such.
And bars on the windows.
Sure.
Lots of attendants.
The castle ain't a castle without its crawling with varlets and trolls and churls and such.
And keepers. Tell me something, Sir Jethro. Is this a rib?
No, sir. That's a nose.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't catch me on questions like that. I studied to be a brain surgeon.
A brain surgeon.
Yes, sir. Ain't that right, Uncle Jed?
What's that, boy?
Pretty near become a brain surgeon, didn't I?
That's right. He was tore twixt that and being a fry cook.
Oh, I get it. Where's the hidden camera? You guys really have me going there. Come on, where's the camera? Do we need any makeup? Well, right here, huh? Hi, Alan. Love your show. Great bunch you got together.
Hey, mister, you gonna give us our passport?
Sure. I'm the royal passport granter. Hi, Margaret. It's Joe. I'm on hidden camera. Hi, kids. It's Daddy. I'm on television.
He acts like his sword unhit a knot.
Listen, you. Come down from there. We're busy.
Oh, a miniature. One of those old Japanese jobs.
I ain't neither.
Hey, Alan, you really had me fooled. This is the good side.
We'll come back another time. You get some rest.
Sit down. Put your feet up.
Go on.
Bye.
Come on. Where are you? Where you got it? You're in someplace here, Alan.
If he's the U.S. government, I'm kind of glad we was going to England.
Excuse me, Miss Jane, but I reckon you'll be wanting to wear this on the plane.
Oh, Jethro, you dear, thoughtful boy.
It's your oath suit. You left it at the house.
Oh, but you don't really... I can't arrive in England wearing this.
Just a doggone minute. You and Mr. Drysdale promised me I'd have an oath.
And we never break our promise.
Oh, Chief.
England expects every oaf to do her duty. Pardon me, chaps. I must speak to one of my clerks.
It's bad enough I got to travel without my royal raiment and my falcon, but a knight just can't show up without his oath. It just ain't done.
I like that about you, Jethro. You want to be authentic.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why I can't be your oaf.
Uh-huh.
I looked it up, and an oaf is a man.
Yeah, come to think of it, all the pictures I seen of oafs and knaves and such was men.
There you are.
Yeah, but where am I going to find me a man oaf this late?
Not all beings here in a fortnight or so. Miss Hathaway, Sir Jethro is waiting for his oath.
And we never break a promise, do we, Chief?
Never.
One oath coming up.
That's the spirit.
I got me a real first sure off. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, Jethro, wait. You don't want to be seen with me like this. I just spent $500 for that beautiful English outfit. Now, can't let that go to waste. How about it?
Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
You look fine, Granny. Sure there's no light showing through, Ellie.
You wearing 6 petticoats.
Well, a woman has to be special cheerful in England. I hear the sun never sets there.
Jethro back yet?
No, he ain't. And if he makes us late, I'm going to throw him to the beef eaters.
Hip, hip. Well, let's go, chaps.
I told you he wasn't going to put on no air.
Oh, I'm just wearing this to please Mr. Drysdale. He don't want it to go to waste.
Where is Mr. Drysdale?
Him and Miss Jane is going to take a later flight.
How come?
Well, like he says, it wouldn't do for no oaf to be seen getting off the same plane with us royal folks.
The last time, I'm telling you, we ain't going to put on no air.
Don't worry. I understand.
late to undo it now. We'll miss our plane.
Yeah, we's gonna be late.
Hey, that throne ain't for you. It's for His Royal Highness.
Let's go, boy.
But Uncle Jed, that throne is...
Drive on, boy.
Take the oath out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the oath. Hot dog, we's on our way to London now.
Sit down, Jethro. You rocked the airplane.
Sure wish Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane was along.
Me too, Ellie. We're going to be strangers in a strange land.
Will y'all stop worrying? You're traveling with an educated man.
But you only graduated the 6th grade.
Ellie, you can't fall 12 years of schooling.
Did you learn anything about England?
Are you kidding? I studied 2 years of English.
Think you can find our castle?
Of course I can, Your Royal Majesty.
Don't call me that.
But, sire...
Shh. Told you I don't want to put on no airs.
Okay, then I'll just call you sire.
Is everything all right here?
Finest frogs here, ma'am.
He just talks country like that when he's around you peasants. Actually, that there is His Royal Highness, the Earl of Clampett.
Oh. And the two ladies?
The young one with the yeller hair, that's my royal cousin. And the little one with the big mouth, that's the royal granny. I'm His Majesty's head varlet, Sir Jethro de Bodine, Knight of the Round Table. He's heading for our castle.
I see.
You want to sit down and talk? Well, there's 2 seats that was being held for Mr. Drysdale, the royal oath, and his secretary. But he said they don't allow oaths on this flight. But I reckon you know that.
Oh, no, it comes as a complete surprise.
He's flying over later, quick as he gets his oath suit broke in.
Steve, I brought your clothes. Where are you?
Anybody with you?
No, I'm quite alone.
If you weren't a traitor, you'd be wearing this.
But if you weren't chicken, you'd be on that plane.
Like this?
Well, at least the Clampetts wouldn't be alone with Sir Jethro as their leader.
Oh, they're all right. I've got a friend at the airline keeping track of them. Besides, the flight they're taking lands only once in San Francisco. Then non-stop to London. So what can happen? Hello? Oh, Jim! How's my royal family doing? Hey, what? No. Well, find them.
Gee, what happened?
They left the plane in San Francisco. They think it's London.
Yeah, this is the Dandy Hill, driver. Okay, everybody, poke your heads up. Now, as we look out over the famous old city of London, the first thing we notice is a famous old English channel, right down yonder. And going across it there, the famous old London Bridge. Oh, and off to the left there, we see the famous old White Cliffs of Dover. And yonder, straight across the channel, you can see the coast of France.
What's that little place down there in the water?
Huh? Oh, that there is one of them British Isles.
Excuse me, buddy. Just where do you think you are?
Ain't this London?
No, this is San Francisco. What you've been pointing to is Alcatraz, El Cerrito, and San Leandro.
How do you like that? We done overshot England and landed in Spain.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry you had to wait for us.
Oh, we're glad to do it. Where were you?
The royal nut there was showing us the White Cliffs of Oakland.
Good ride, the boy.
Well, he thinks he's so all-fired smart.
Yeah, and he didn't know London from San Francisco.
Well, it just so happens they both look a heap alike from the air. They both got 7 hills.
I believe that's Rome.
Huh? Where? I always wanted to see the pyramids.
My mistake. Look, it's almost dinner time. How about some food?
Well, help yourself, honey. We got a whole basket full there.
Yeah, you brought along everything from sapsucker giblets to possum shanks.
Well, you see, we didn't know you were going to bring all this food, so we have complete dinners ready to be served. They're included in the fare.
Hear that, youngins? We're going to have a fair.
A pizza picnic?
You're going to have sideshows and freaks?
If you ain't, you can borrow ours.
Wait till we get to London. You're going to be flogged through the fleet.
Sit down, Granny.
Excuse me.
Why don't you get up and help the young lady?
Just a minute, ma'am. I'll help you.
Thank you, but I have help.
Well, it ain't that, ma'am. You see, I'm the royal taster.
Royal taster.
Yes, ma'am. You can't give His Highness and them no victuals without I taste them first.
Very well, Sir Jethro.
Ed, when do you reckon that fair's gonna commence? I'm getting hungry.
Me too, Pa. What could be taking them so long? They got Jethro helping.
You just answered your own question.
Be patient. There's a heap of work to setting up a fair. You gotta have sawdust to spread around.
Jethro's got a whole head full.
Get off the boy's back. This royalty business has got him stirred up, but he means well.
Excuse me, do you still have that basket of food?
Sure do, honey. You need it?
I think we might. The royal taster's just gone through 12 steak dinners.
The royal buzzard, the beast of Bugtussle, the creature that's gonna eat England. Get out of there, you 6.5-foot stomach!
That's Frank.
Huh? France? Hey, y'all, come on back. We done overshot England again.
No, I meant... Well, never mind. This is England.
Are you sure about it this time?
Absolutely.
Well, it's been nice meeting you. Hey, come on out to the castle sometime and see me when I'm wearing my armor.
Thank you.
Hey, have you ever been a damsel in distress?
Yes, for about 6,000 miles.
I beg your pardon. Are you by any chance Mr. Clampett?
Yes, sir. Jed Clampett.
Mr. Drysdale telephoned and asked me to meet you. I'm Cedric Giles Evans of the firm of solicitors representing the estate of your distant cousin, the late Marcus.
Well, I'm very pleased to meet you, Mr. Evans. This here is Granny and my daughter, Ellie.
Howdy.
That is?
He says that my cousin Marcus is late.
He's deceased.
Oh, well, he's in luck, because Granny's a doctor.
What kind of disease has he got?
Well, I'll have to figure that out, Ellie Mae, when I examine him. Thank goodness I brought my medical supplies with me. Is Cousin Marcus up at the castle?
Well, yes, but you see, he's been laid to rest.
Good. Just keep him warm. Is the family doctor with him?
Madam, the gentleman is dead.
Oh. Well, us doctors is only mortal. Get a move on. We got sick kinfolks up there at the castle without a doctor.
Now, don't you worry. Granny has pulled folks through everything from thrush to dropsy.
If Cousin Marcus has dropsy, he better be turned over every now and then.
You know, madam, I rather imagine he's turning over at this very moment.
Come on, Jethro. Shall we call us a taxicab?
Oh, no, I've got a car waiting. But first of all, you'll have to go through our British customs.
Well, we do our best if you show us.
Yes. Yes, of course.
What are y'all doing?
Well, this here's a British custom.
That ain't British. It's Spanish. Right?
Don't listen to the royal booby.
This is what the Spanish do when they stomp on grapes. Well, come on, stomp.
Look, Pa, Mr. Evans showing us another custom. He go like this.
I think he's wanting us to follow him. Come on, everybody.
Now then, madam. The inspector here says that you refuse to open your luggage. If you stayed here, you have nothing to declare.
Well, I've changed my mind. I declare that you are the nosiest bunch I've ever seen.
That's why we're here. This is British customs.
Well, this was foolish enough. But poking through folks' belongings, you ought to be ashamed.
Mr. Clampett, did you object to opening his bag?
You ain't carrying what I am.
Oh, that's something to hide.
You betcha.
I'm afraid you leave us no choice.
Now, don't open that, I'm warning you. Now you've done it, betcha, preacher.
A preacher?
We got to get married. You have done touched my untouchable. It's the code of the hill.
Don't be embarrassed. I assure you there's no article of women's apparel that we... Oh. What do we hear?
That's my nightgown. Ain't nothing sacred to you, you wicked man.
What's this?
That's my doctor's bag.
You're a doctor?
Been one for 60 years. Got a patient waiting for me right now. Jed's cousin Marcus. He's laying up there at the castle with a bad case of bronchitis. Be careful, them are my medical supplies.
What's this?
That's a buckeye. And that's snake wart, dog bane, horse mint, skunk oil, wahoo, buckbrush, Gibson weed, spider web, cat hair, everything a doctor needs.
You were an MD.
That's right, mountain doctor.
And, what might this be?
That might be buttermilk, but I wouldn't light no match to see.
Come now, what is this?
That's Tennessee tranquilizer. One of my best homemade cures.
What does it cure?
What do you got?
Madam, I'm afraid my government would not approve of this homemade cure.
I ain't too happy about it neither.
I mean to say, I cannot permit you to bring it into the country. You should have emptied this jug before you boarded the plane.
If I'd have emptied that jug, I wouldn't have needed no plane.
See that these medical supplies are impounded?
Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I need them things.
Granny? You still in here?
Oh, come in, Mr. Clampett. This is our chief customs inspector.
Howdy.
How do you do? I'm Chumley.
No, he ain't dead. He's mean. Cousin Marcus is laying at death's door, and he's fixing to pound my jug and stuff.
I wouldn't pound that jug if I was you. We could all be laying at death's door. That stuff will blow stumps.
We only plan holding these supplies pending inspection.
Don't believe him dead. He's a man of loose morals. It's true, Jed. He's a regular rip. Why, he flung open my bag, followed my flimsies, and then wouldn't call a preacher.
The cold of the hills don't hold here.
It holds in the four corners of the earth. I say throw down on him with your shotgun.
No, that ain't no way to commence a visit.
Well, at least whoop him and get my medicine back.
Granny, I hear tell that London is a right good-sized town. They ought to have at least one drugstore.
There we are. Sorry for the delay.
No harm done.
No harm done. If Cousin Marcus dies, he's to blame. And if that happens, you're going to catch it, you fresh young whippersnapper.
Young whippersnapper. Madam, I'm a sexagenarian.
To hear that, Jetty admits it. Shame on you, Doreen. Get me to a drugstore. I said get me to a drugstore.
Be quiet, Granny.
This don't look like no drugstore to me.
No, madam, this is where my office is located. It's most urgent that I confer with my colleagues immediately.
Oh, you want us to come along?
No, I want to warn them. That is to brief them. Bradshaw will show you London. I'll, see you later.
Let's go see the Queen.
Yeah, take us to the Tower of London.
By dingy, I'm walking to the drugstore.
Now, Granny, Mr. Evans said to forget you're a doctor while you're here.
Never. This town needs every doctor it can get. What with folks driving on the wrong side of the street? Jed, I have swore a oath to heal the sick and ease the suffering of mankind. And I aim to take medicine to that castle.
Now, you can't go on foot.
Then I'll ride a bobby.
What's a bobby?
I don't know. But I heard tell that they'll help you get wherever you want to go.
Boy, this is embarrassing to a sophisticated head varlet like me. Driver, follow them two ignorant hay shakers. Hey, your microphone's heating up.
Are you sure this is where you buy medicine?
Positive, sir.
How long you aim to be here, Granny?
Oh, quite a spell, Ellie. I have to start from scratch. Everything from larkspur to leeches.
Let's go sightseeing and pick her up later.
No, I don't want to leave her alone again, Jethro. You and Ellie run on ahead and say your howdies to the Queen.
Let's go. Mr. Giles Evans asked me to give you this English money.
Well, that's real nice of him.
That's £25, sir.
What's that, Jed?
Well, it's supposed to be 25 pounds of English money. But whoever weighed it must have had his thumb on the scale.
Madam, good day, sir. Can I be of any assistance?
Why, yes, sir, I believe so. Thank you. The doctor here is wanting to stock up on medicine.
You're a doctor?
I am. You a druggist?
Definitely.
Well, here you are. Just fill it up with the standard items.
The standard items.
That's right. Buckeye, snake port, dog bane, horse mint, spider web, eye of a newt.
You're one of those, Doctor. Well, now, let me see if I can remember the formula from Macbeth. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork.
Now there's a druggist.
I do rather pride myself on my Shakespeare.
I never tried that. But if you recommend it, I'll take some.
Take some Shakespeare?
How do you sell it over here? By the bag or by the bottle?
Well, I should say that we sell Shakespeare by the volume, by the play, by the sonnet.
Well, give me half a sonnet. I don't want him to think I don't know my business.
You're holding your own just fine, Granny.
If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say the poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces.
What do you make of that, Jim?
She's kind of took a shine to you.
Let's get back to my Shakespeare.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date.
He just can't get his mind on business.
I told you, Granny, that rascal's took it.
Glad you're with me, Jed. He's kind of bold. Tell you what, I'll take a whole sonnet of that Shakespeare.
May I suggest some Venus and Adonis?
If it's good stuff.
Touch but my lips with those fair lips of thine. Though mine be not so fair, yet are they red. The kiss shall be thine own, as well as mine.
Why don't you take a walk, Jed?
What about your duty to Marcus?
Who?
Cousin Marcus laying sick in the castle. Your patient.
Patience I can get, Jed. But at my age, suitors are kind of scared.
I'd best stay. Doggies, if I don't think we got a hold of another one of them sexagenarians.
Are you sure this is where the Queen lives?
Quite sure, sir. This is Buckingham Palace.
Hand me the bucket, Ellie.
What you fixing to do with our water?
I'm fixing to make my fortune, that's what.
Oh, you're Mike, and there's the bottle.
Ellie, man, ain't you never read no history? This how Sir Walter Raleigh become famous.
What you mean?
Well, one day, Queen Elizabeth come sashaying out of the palace. There was this here puddle. Well, quick as a wink, Sir Walt took off his coat, laid it on the puddle for the Queen to walk over. Well, she was so tickled, she hauled off and gave him Virginia.
Virginia, how?
Thank goodness there's one intelligent member of this here family. Excuse me. Would you please tell Queen Elizabeth that Sir Jethro de Bodine is waiting at the puddle?
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already pale and sick with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, for she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do well. Cast him off. It is my love. Oh, that she knew she...
What's the matter with Granny?
She done fell under the spell of a drugstore cowboy. Drive us to the castle and don't spare the horses. We gotta get there fast. You can mail us the Shakespeare.
Bring it yourself, honey.
There it is, son.
Well, would you look at that?
You done inherited yourself a mess of castle, Paul.
It's gonna take a mess of mopping to keep it clean, Jed. Must be 10 acres of floors to scrub.
You are the royal Granny. You can command oath to do that work.
Okay, you're it.
I'm a knight. I got to gird my loins and go to rescuing damsels.
Me too.
Ellen, May, you...
Youngin', I reckon we all gotta pitch in on the chores. Granny's gonna be busy doctoring Cousin Marcus.
But, sire, that castle's likely swarming with Saxon dogs.
Oh?
Yeah, that's what us ruling class calls servants.
Jenkins, the gatekeeper has just rung through to say that our American family is approaching. I want the entire staff to line up in the courtyard at once.
Yes, sir. I'll summon them immediately.
Oh, and Jenkins, alert them that American millionaires are apt to be a bit eccentric, so we must indulge.
Yes, Mr. Faversham.
Remind the staff that we are doing this for Queen, for country, and for 6 months' back wages.
Certainly, Mr. Faversham.
What do you think, Granny?
It'll look much better after we've whitewashed it.
Whitewashed it?
Jethro, you help Mr. Bradshaw with the bag.
Can't I get you two wheat benders to understand? We don't got to do no more work. We got oafs and naifs and serfs for that.
They do everything, Jethro?
Of course. If they don't, we flog them.
Hush that kind of talk, boy.
But royal folks is always flogging serfs. It's a sport of kings. If we get tired of flogging them, we just drag them to the dungeon and pile them up on a rack.
I'll say that's enough.
Hang them by the thumb, boy.
Look at yonder.
They heard you.
Royal Mouth has done it again.
Come on back, everybody. Jethro was only funning.
I'll handle him, sire. Hold you Saxon dogs, or I'll take a flog to you. See how they come to heel when a royal talk? All right, let's see what we got here. How many is oafs? All oafs take one step forward. How about serfs? Any serfs in the crowd? Knaves? Churls? Louts? Is anybody here a swineherd?
Trouble, boy?
Yeah, they won't talk.
They snickering a good bit.
I reckon I better send for the royal flogger.
I beg your pardon, sir.
How long since this dog's been flogged?
They've never been flogged.
See, I told you. Spare the flog and spoil the oath.
I take it you are Mr. Clampett, sir.
Yes, sir. Jed Clampett. This here is Jethro, and women folks there is Granny and Ellie Mae.
Hey, Ellie, Granny, come on over and meet the royal flogger.
No, sir. I am Major Domo of the castle.
Oh, pleased to meet you, Mr. Domo. Or would you rather I called you Major?
No, sir, you don't quite understand. Domo is short for domicile.
Oh, Granny, Ellie Mae, shake hands with Mr. Domicile.
Faversham to you two.
Same here, Mr. Domicile.
He shortened it to Gomo.
Reckon we ought to call him Major. Major will do nicely.
All right, well, I got to get busy and go tonight. Come on, Ellie, you can help me with my armor. Oh, say, Major, is there any limit on dragons?
You are at liberty to slay as many as you can find.
Oh, dog, we's going to have dragon joust tonight.
Quite a jokester.
When it comes to eating, Jethro, don't joke.
You haven't met the staff, have you?
Faversham, everybody.
Faversham. Nice looking folks. Slipped my mind, too. I'll fetch your bag.
How is Cousin Marcus?
Are you by any chance referring to the late Marquis?
Yeah, but I think you folks ought to stop calling him that. He can't help it if he's late. Poor man, laying up there sick and no doctor. But I'll cure him.
Afraid you're too late.
What you mean?
He was taken by General Peritonitis last month.
Oh. Well, I'll tell Jed.
Then it's all right if I leave for London, sir.
Sure. I'm glad to hear Mr. Drysdale coming in. Here's your bag.
Jed, I'm too late to help your Cousin Marcus.
What you mean?
They brung in an army doctor, General Peritonitis.
I'm a friend of the Major.
Well, I'm going to look in on him anyway. I don't trust them army doctors. They're too fast with the saw.
Now, see here, Teddy. I know you miss the old master, but if Mr. Faversham finds you on this bed, he'll be in a snit. Well, the new owner's here.
Hello? Anybody up here?
Oh, dear. Be very quiet.
Howdy, miss. I'm looking for the Marcus's room.
This is the room of the late Marquis, Ma'am.
Oh, I do wish you folks would stop bad-mouthing him. That army sawbones around.
I don't understand, Ma'am.
Well, never mind. You run along. I just want to take a look.
But, Ma'am, I should warn you, the old dog...
Now, I can take care of him. I've done run into two of your biggest sexagenarians. You scat, leave him to me. Well, the old rascal can't be too sick if he's got her skittish. Cousin Marcus, I'm Jed's kin from across the water. I've come to help doctor you. How does that set with you? Now, none of that. You got to think of me as a doctor, not as a beautiful woman. All right. We ain't gonna open the drapes. It'll just give you high blood. From your breathing, I'd best check your pulse. Now, give me your hand. But don't get grabby now. Well, at least they're keeping you warm. Feels like a fur nightshirt. But your arms are kind of thin. And them nails needs trimming something off. Let's see if you got a fever. They've let your hair grow down over your eyes. Heaven knows how long since you've had a shave. I never did see the likes of treating sick folks like this. It's terrible. It's terrible. Marcus, you're at death's door.
How do we look, Ellie?
Well, if you were smoking, you'd look like a pot-bellied stuff.
You pulled assassin all night. This here armor makes me invincible.
What you mean?
It means you can't hurt me. Hey, go ahead and hit me, I'll show you. sure sets a feller's ears to ringing. I'm gonna get you for that.
Did I hear the dinner going?
Heck no. Ellie done hit me in the head with an axe.
You should have waited till the boy had his iron hat on.
Well, he did have it on. Said it made him invincible.
Man, I sure hope they got some dragon dogs around this castle. The way my ears is ringing, I'll never hear that rascal coming.
Oh, can I go dragon hunting with Jethro?
Yeah, let her come. I'll use her for bait.
You won't?
I will, too. I will, too.
No, I got other plans for Ellie. According to Mr. Drysdale, there is English gentlemen coming to call.
That ain't the way it's done around the castle. Well, she got to be a damsel in distress before they come.
What do you mean?
She gets up on the tower in her damsel dress and commences bellowing, "Help, save me." Then all the knights that's out questing comes galloping up to rescue her. Well, she picks the one she likes, and they get trothed and live happy ever after. As the dumb old damsel clouts him in the head with an axe.
Put on your damsel dress and practice bellowing.
Yes, sir, Pal.
I think I'll put an edge on this and split some kindling. We got a lot of fireplaces in this castle.
Oh, please, I mean, prithee, sire, don't do that. Do you think King Arthur would split kindling?
Oh, I can't see.
No. He'd just summon a royal kindling splitter.
I don't mind doing it.
But it ain't knight's work. You got to save your strength for slaying dragons, rescuing damsels in distress, and lifting a siege.
What's a siege?
I don't know, but they's heavy. Even Lancelot and Galahad in that bunch had trouble lifting sieges.
Maybe that's what this is for.
Your cousin Marcus is laying upstairs with one foot in the grave.
Did you find out what he's got?
Yeah, a rotten doctor. I better take over or he'll die of neglect.
Well, now, Granny, I spoke to the major about you doctoring, and he said forget it. They got something here called socialized medicine.
Yeah. Cousin Marcus needs medicine, and the doctor's out socializing. Hey, that thing's alive!
Pedro.
There's no two ways about it. I got to get me a dragon dog. I can't hear nothing.
Granny, I'd best get this invincible knight off dragon hunting before you women kill him.
But Dad, what about cousin Marcus? He's got to be saved.
If you want to save him, keep him away from her.
You're the next kid, Jed. Tell me I can take the case before it's too late.
All right, Granny.
Hang on, Marcus. I'm coming. I never know how he's gonna save you.
There you go, boy. I'll hold your pole while you mount up. If you run across any other knights, be sure and tell them about your cousin Ellie.
Okay, sir. Look out, dragons. Here I come. Yeehaw!
Look out, Jethro. You got your pole sideways. You ain't going to clear the side of that. Look out.
I told you I needed a dog. I didn't even see that dragon.
I'm put near there, Marcus. Don't give up. The case is too hopeless for me. Many's the time I've snatched folks back from the valley of the shadow, and I'm going to do the same for you. No! Jed, the dog is done at your cousin. I'm here, buddy snatcher. Get him up, Jed. Murder!
Just wait till I get my sandwich signed.
Mr. Drysdale, surely you're not going to wear that.
Oh, no, of course not.
Oh, good. My colleagues are waiting to discuss the estate.
Oh, here you are, Bradshaw. And walk slowly.
Oh, no, please, sir. This is a most conservative neighborhood. And the law courts are close at hand.
Oh, excellent. Let's go talk to the judge about my bank reform plan.
Mr. Drysdale, England is not going to bring back debtors' prison.
What about the rat for? Bad check artist. Flogging for overdrawn accounts. Not a chance. You know, I may change my mind about opening a bank here. You people destroy a man's incentive.
Mr. Giles Evans, sir.
Yes, what is it?
It's Mr. Faversham calling from the castle. He said it's most urgent.
Right. Bring in Mr. Drysdale. What's wrong with the castle?
Well, I know this sounds incredible, sir, but I got the impression they were being attacked by dragons.
Dragon?
Well, I thought I heard Mr. Faversham say that they had unhorsed Jethro, but it was difficult to tell because there was a young lady calling, "Help, save me," and another lady screaming murder.
Quick, to castle.
Help! Save me! I'm a damsel in distress! Rescue me, somebody!
How's it going up there, Ellie?
And I ain't going worse shucks, Paul.
Seen any knights headed this way?
No, sir, Paul. There ain't a night in sight. And I'm getting awfully tired. Just... Wait a minute, I see one. And he's riding through the woods, lickety-split.
Commence bellering, Ellie.
Help! Save me! I'm a damsel in distress!
Who dragon? Who dragon? Who dragon? Come on out, you dragon!
Too late, Paul. He just run smack into a low limb and got scraped off his horse.
Forget him, Ellie. That's Jethro.
Come on now, don't laugh. I ain't never been dragon hunting before. How was I to know them sneaky rascals sits up in trees laying for you? From now on, we sticking to the roads and pastures.
Is he all right, Ellie?
Yeah, Paul. He's getting back on his horse.
Well, rest your voice a spell and then go to bellering again.
Jed, I've been looking all over the castle for you. Did you see a great big shaggy dog pass by here?
What, is he one of them dragon dogs?
Yeah, he's dragging what's left of Marcus.
What?
Jed, I want to break this to you gently. That dog has ate your cousin. It's true. Grant there wasn't much left of him, but it's a terrible way to go.
I just can't swallow this story.
Well, the dog didn't have no trouble swallowing Marcus. And we gotta find him. Ah, yonder he is. Well, don't just stand there grinning, Jed. He's gnawing on your cousin.
Granny, that dog has just got hold of a big old ham bone or something.
That's Marcus.
I beg your pardon, son.
We'll prove it by Mr. Domo.
Faversham, madam.
Never mind the greetings. What's that dog gnawing on?
I believe it's a leg bone of the old boar, madam.
Oh, boar, that ain't no way to speak of the dead.
It's becoming quite a nuisance, rooting about amongst the garbage.
Garbage! No wonder the poor old fellow was sick. Ain't you even gonna bury his bones?
Dare say the dog will do that.
I ain't gonna listen to no such talk. Give me my kinfolk, you four-legged buzzard.
Don't mind Granny, she gets wrought up real easy.
Yes. Oh, I thought I ought to tell you, sir. Mr. Drysdale is on his way to the castle.
Oh, good, good. He can take victuals with us. I hope Jethro fetches home a nice plump dragon.
Come on, dragon. Come on, boy. Look out, you crazy horse. I said stick to the road.
What's the idea of slowing down? I'm in a hurry.
Sorry, sir. There's a knight on the road ahead of us.
What kind of a country is this? You won't bring back a wonderful institution like debtor's prison, and you let some loony Lancelot ride around. Pass. Get off the road, you nut!
Don't you call no knight no nut.
Your loony Lancelot just lanced our tire.
Dead! That big dog has done buried Cousin Marcus.
Oh, Granny.
Come on, I'll show you.
Help! Save me!
Oh, no! Now he's after Ellie.
Oh, no, Granny, that's Ellie's damsel in distress call.
They's coming, Paul! They's coming!
Knights?
Yes, sir, Paul! They
coming in coveys.
Help! Save me!
Mr. Faversham, sir. I'm beginning to wonder whether it's worth the 6 months' back wages.
Yes, Jenkins. Mr. Drysdale is on his way.
Another American?
Oh, I'm told he's quite the opposite of the Clampetts. He's a businessman, sophisticated, and very, very conservative.
I trust this is not Mr. Drysdale approaching.
Thanks for the ride, Sir Jethro. Hello, I'm Melvin Drysdale. Where are the dragons?
I beg your pardon.
Those wild, dangerous creatures you called about.
Oh, yes. One of them's up in the battlements. One just rode off. And the other two are around the back.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The Lord giveth, and the dog taketh away.
I don't hardly think no dog could have...
I don't want to talk about it, Jed. Just get me out of here. I want to go home.
But, Granny, Ellie just hollered herself up a brace of nights.
The rest of you can stay, but this ain't no place for old folks. I don't aim to spend my last days rooting in garbage and dodging man-eating dogs.
Truly and profoundly your own. And that, in the end, is the greatest story of all. It is the story of humanity, the story of family, and the story of the enduring power of the human spirit to find the light, even in the most challenging of times, and to share that light with the world, one act of kindness, one honest word, and one family at a time. And so they lived on, and the world, in their presence, became a little bit better, a little bit kinder, and a whole lot brighter. The sun hung high over the city of Washington, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns that surrounded the most famous residence in the land. Jed Clampett, a man whose heart was as expansive as the hills he once called home, stood with his hat in his hands, looking toward the distant white columns with a mixture of reverence and curiosity. Beside him, Granny, her face etched with the wisdom of the mountains, clutched her basket of herbs, while Ellie Mae, with her irrepressible spirit, took in the sights with wide, admiring eyes. Jethro, ever the eager explorer, stood nearby, his mind racing with thoughts of engineering marvels and grand designs. They were far from their humble beginnings, yet the simple values that defined their lives remained as steadfast as the bedrock of the earth itself. Honest John, a man whose words flowed with the ease of a river, moved with a calculated grace that seemed almost practiced. He had brought them to this hallowed ground with promises of grand solutions and noble causes, his eyes sparkling with the thrill of the hunt. He gestured toward the distant silhouette of the mansion, his voice low and conspiratorial. You see, my friends, the very ground beneath those columns is steeped in history, a legacy that transcends the reach of any single man. Princess Sitting Hawk remains the guardian of these ancestral lands, a figure shrouded in the mists of time, holding fast to the heritage of her people. To approach her is to step into the past, to walk the path of those who came before us. Granny shifted her weight, her brow furrowing with a flicker of skepticism. I have seen many things in my time, but 150 years is a long road for anyone to walk. Is she truly as ancient as they say? Honest John nodded, his expression one of somber respect. Time is but a whisper to one who carries the weight of history upon her shoulders. She has endured, she has watched, and she has kept the sacred fire of her ancestors burning through the changing seasons. She is the last of the noble Columbia tribe, and her spirit remains as unbroken as the mountain peaks that once echoed with the calls of her kin. Jed looked toward the small, solitary structure that stood in the distance, a humble contrast to the grand edifice behind it. It seemed out of place, a relic of a simpler era standing in the shadow of modern power. He felt a strange tug in his chest, a sympathy for the woman who sat in silence, guarding what she felt was rightfully hers. It is a sad thing, he mused aloud, his voice soft with genuine feeling, that one should have to stand alone against such a tide. If she is the last of her line, then surely she deserves a place where she can rest in peace, away from the cannons and the coldness of those who do not understand her spirit. Ellie Mae stepped forward, her eyes glistening with empathy. "I should like to meet her," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the gentle rustle of the trees. "If she is lonely, perhaps she would like to see the critters I have brought along. Sometimes, a small friend is all it takes to mend a broken heart." Jed smiled at his niece, his eyes filled with pride. "That is the kindest thing I have heard all day, Ellie. Kindness is a language that everyone understands, whether they dwell in the palaces of the great or the quiet corners of the wilderness." Honest John watched them with a keen, calculating gaze, noting the way their hearts opened toward the plight of the princess. He knew the value of such genuine emotion, for it was the perfect vessel for his schemes. He led them further, his footsteps silent on the grass, until they reached the modest dwelling where the princess resided. The air seemed to grow still around them, as if the very atmosphere held its breath, awaiting the unfolding of a long-forgotten story. There she sat, a figure cloaked in the traditional garb of her people, her eyes fixed on the horizon, unmoving and silent. Jed approached with caution, his movements slow and respectful. He did not wish to disturb the peace of this remarkable woman, for he understood the weight of solitude. He removed his hat, bowing his head slightly in a gesture of honor. "Ma'am," he began, his voice steady and warm, "I come to you with a heart full of respect. I have lived my life in the hills, close to the earth and the sky, and I know the value of a home. I have heard the tales of your people, and I felt a call to come and offer you my friendship, if you would be so kind as to accept it." Princess Sitting Hawk did not stir for a long moment, and then, slowly, she turned her head toward them. Her gaze was sharp, piercing the very depths of Jed's soul, as if reading the history written upon his brow. Honest John stepped forward, his posture rigid as he prepared to translate the silence into words. "She speaks," he announced, though the princess had not made a sound. "She says that she sees the truth in your eyes, that she recognizes the spirit of a man who has not been tainted by the false promises of the world. She asks what brings a man of such stature to the door of an old woman who has been forgotten by the rest of humanity." Jed sighed, his gaze flickering toward the mansion in the distance. "I came because I wanted to help," he explained, his words sincere and unadorned. "There is talk of smog and the heavy burdens that this land must bear, and I thought that if I could help, it would be a worthy use of the fortune that has come my way. But more than that, I saw that you were standing here all alone, and I did not think it was right. I am but a farmer, and I know that when a neighbor is in need, one does not stand by and watch." The princess listened, her expression unreadable, yet her eyes seemed to soften in the light of the setting sun. She raised a hand, making a series of delicate gestures that seemed to flow like the movement of the wind. Honest John watched intently, his eyes darting back and forth as he deciphered the unspoken communication. "She is touched," he said, his voice imbued with a sense of wonder that felt nearly genuine. "She says that she has waited a lifetime to hear words of such humility. She recognizes the strength of your spirit, and she is inclined to trust you, for she sees in you the virtues that the leaders of old once possessed." Granny stepped closer, peering at the princess with a sharp, discerning look. "She is a fine woman," she muttered, though she kept a respectful distance. "She has the look of someone who has seen the seasons turn a great many times, and she knows the secrets that the earth keeps to herself. Maybe she has some remedies that could help with the irritations that folks are feeling these days, for the air is indeed not what it once was." Jethro, standing to the side, was busy scribbling in a notebook, his mind clearly on the practical side of things. "If we are to take over this whole property," he whispered to Ellie Mae, "we are going to need a lot of land for the critters and plenty of room for my workshop. Imagine the machines I could build here, fueled by the very spirit of the land itself. Ellie Mae shushed him gently, her attention fixed on the interaction between her uncle and the princess. "Hush now, Jethro," she said, her voice filled with quiet excitement. "This is a moment of peace, and it is a rare and precious thing. Let us see where it leads, for I believe that something good is about to happen for all of us." Jed knelt before the princess, his voice dropping to a confidential tone. "If it is within your power," he said, "to grant me the right to this land, I promise you that I will be a good steward. I will protect its heritage, I will honor the memories of those who lived here before, and I will ensure that it remains a place of peace and beauty for all who come after. I am not a politician, and I have no desire for power. I only wish to do what is right, and to make sure that no one who has given so much is left behind to face the cold spotlight. But by simply being who they were, honest, kind, and always ready to lend a helping hand. And that, in the end, was the greatest triumph of all." They looked back on their journey from the hills to the capital, and they realized that it had all been worth it. Every challenge, every misunderstanding, every moment of uncertainty, it had all led them to this place, where they could make a real, lasting impact, and they did it all together as a family, bound by the ties that no distance or circumstance could ever break. The story of the Clampetts was not an ending, but a new chapter, a testament to the fact that when you stay true to yourself, when you treat others with respect, and when you never lose sight of what is truly important, you can find a place for yourself in any world, and you can make that world a little better, a little kinder, and a whole lot brighter, just by being exactly who you are. And so, they lived on, a reminder that the simple life is often the richest life, and that the biggest heart is found not in the grandest palaces, but in the most unexpected of places, held by those who never forgot the simple truth, that we are all, in the end, just folks trying to make our way, and finding in each other the strength to move forward. The days turned into months, and the months into years, and the Clampetts remained a cornerstone of their community. Their influence, while subtle, was profound. They had changed the culture of the White House, infusing it with a warmth and a sense of shared purpose that was felt by everyone who walked its halls. They had shown that a leader could be humble, that power could be used for the good of all, and that the most complex problems could often be solved by applying the simplest of principles. Jethro continued to innovate, his work eventually leading to a series of breakthroughs that transformed urban infrastructure, making cities cleaner and more sustainable for everyone. He was no longer the boy who was just looking for a way to use his giant brain, but a man who had found his purpose in serving the greater good. And he did it all with the same enthusiasm and joy that had always characterized his spirit, a testament to the power of a mind that is nurtured with love and purpose. Ellie Mae, with her gentle spirit and her unique ability to connect with all living things, had established a sanctuary for endangered species that was recognized globally. She had created a space where nature and humanity could coexist in harmony, a model for environmental stewardship that was studied and emulated around the world. Her work was a tribute to the beauty of the natural world and the importance of protecting it for generations to come. Granny, with her boundless energy and her unwavering commitment to the health and well-being of those around her, had become a beloved figure, known for her wisdom, her cooking, and her fierce dedication to the community. She had built a legacy of care that touched thousands of lives, reminding everyone that a good meal and a kind word can go a long way in healing a weary soul. And Jed, the heart and soul of the family, continued to be the steady hand that guided them all. He remained as humble and grounded as the day he had left the hills, a man whose word was his bond and whose life was a shining example of integrity and kindness. He had seen the world, he had influenced the course of history, and yet he remained, first and foremost, a man who loved his family and believed in the inherent goodness of people. Honest John, who had started as a man looking for a way to manipulate the situation for his own benefit, had become one of their most loyal and trusted allies. He had learned from the Clampetts that the true measure of a man is not the wealth he accumulates, but the positive impact he has on the lives of others. His transformation was perhaps the most profound of all, a testament to the power of example and the enduring capacity of the human spirit to change for the better. Princess Sitting Hawk, who had spent so long watching the world from the sidelines, had found a new vitality in her role as a mentor to the family. She had shared her wisdom, her stories, and her perspective, enriching their lives in ways that were immeasurable. She had seen the cycle of history turn, and in the Clampetts, she had found a new hope, a belief that the future could be different, that the mistakes of the past could be learned from, and that a new path, one of respect and harmony, could be forged. As the years passed, the legacy of the Beverly Hillbillies in Washington became a legend in its own right, a story that was told and retold, a reminder of the time when a family from the hills had come to the heart of the capital and, in their simple, honest way, had changed it forever. They had shown that the strength of a nation lies not in its buildings or its institutions, but in the hearts and minds of its people, in their kindness, their resilience, and their enduring capacity to dream of a better world. And through it all, they remained exactly who they were, a family, bonded by love and sustained by their commitment to each other and to the world around them. They had found their place in the heart of the nation, and in doing so, they had helped the nation find its own heart once again, a heart that was beating with the hope and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The journey had not been easy, and it was certainly not what they had expected when they first left the hills, but it had been, in every sense of the word, a life well lived. They had navigated the complexities of the city with the same simplicity they had used to navigate the woods, and in the process, they had discovered that the fundamental truths of life, that love is the most important thing, that kindness is a superpower, and that the best way to move forward is to do so together, are universal, applying just as much to the capital of the country as they do to the quiet serenity of the mountains. They were, and would always be, the Beverly Hillbillies, but they were also so much more. They were the architects of a new kind of leadership, the pioneers of a more compassionate future, and the living embodiment of the idea that, in the end, it is our connections to each other that define us. And that was the greatest, most enduring legacy they could ever leave behind. As the sunset cast its final, golden glow over the city, the family stood together, looking out over the landscape they had come to call home. There was a sense of peace, a feeling that they had done their part, that they had planted the seeds of a better future, and that those seeds, in time, would grow into something truly magnificent. It was a moment of quiet reflection, a moment of profound gratitude, and a moment that marked the end of a long, arduous, and incredibly rewarding journey. They had started as a family in search of a better life, and they had found not just a better life for themselves, but a better world for everyone. They had touched the lives of countless people, they had influenced the direction of a nation, and they had done it all with a grace and a humility that was rare and precious. And as they stood there, holding each other, they knew that no matter what the future might hold, they would always have each other, and they would always have the love that had guided them from the hills to the heart of the country, a love that would continue to light their way, long after the stars had faded and the new day had dawned. The story was complete, the lessons were learned, and the journey had been a resounding success. They had proven, beyond any doubt, that when you bring your true self to the table, when you act with integrity and kindness, and when you never lose sight of what really matters, you can achieve anything. And so they moved forward, not with the arrogance of those who have conquered, but with the wisdom of those who have truly understood the power of being human, the strength of family, and the enduring beauty of a life dedicated to the service of others. The legacy they left behind was not just in the structures they built or the projects they led, but in the hearts and minds of everyone they had encountered. They had shown the world that there is another way, a way of peace, of kindness, and of genuine, honest connection, and in that they had found their true home, a home that was not defined by the walls they lived within, but by the love that they shared and the lives they had touched. The Beverly Hillbillies had come a long way, and in doing so, they had shown the world that no matter where you come from, you can find a place for yourself, you can make a difference, and you can live a life that is true. The circle is strong, she said softly, her voice carrying a resonance that belied her age. You are a man of the earth, Jed Clampett. You have brought the peace of the mountains to the house of the leaders. The spirits are at rest. Jethro came running over, his face beaming. Uncle Jed, you won't believe it. The president said I can work with the engineers on the new ventilation systems. He even gave me a pass that says I am an honorary consultant. Jed laughed, a deep, hearty sound that felt perfectly at home in the quiet evening air. Well, I reckon that is something to be proud of, son. Just remember what the princess said, wisdom first, then the tinkering. Ellie Mae was nearby, holding a small baby possum she had found near the rose bushes. She was cooing at it, her face glowing with joy. This is a real pretty place, Uncle Jed. I think the critters like it here too. Granny was already busy, planning the layout for the new vegetable garden with a member of the grounds staff. She was animated, her hands gesturing toward the earth, clearly in her element. As they stood there, a family of outsiders who had become part of the very fabric of the city, Jed realized that the journey they had taken was about so much more than just money or smog. It was about the connections they made along the way, the people they helped, the trust they earned, and the simple truth that everywhere you go, people are just looking for a little bit of goodness, a little bit of kindness, and a place to call home. The president joined them on the lawn, a cup of tea in his hand. He looked at the family, then at the princess, and finally at the city beyond. He said, looking at Jed, this has been the most relaxing afternoon I have had in years. Thank you for that. Jed tipped his hat, his eyes meeting the president's. It was our pleasure, sir. We are just folks trying to do our part. And if there is one thing we have learned, it is that the best way to change the world is to start with the spot where you are standing. The president smiled, a slow, appreciative smile. I think you are right, Jed. I think you are absolutely right. In the quiet of the Washington night, with the wind whispering through the trees and the stars watching over the city, felt like the beginning of something truly special. The Beverly Hillbillies, in their own unique way, had brought a little bit of the hills to the capital, and in doing so, had found that the heart of the nation was just as hungry for goodness as they were. They would stay, they would work, and they would contribute not as politicians or grand leaders, but as they always had, as a family grounded, simple, and committed to doing what was right. And in that simple commitment, they found a kind of greatness that no amount of money could ever buy. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity. Jethro spent his time in the bowels of the building, surrounded by complex diagrams and frustrated engineers, slowly winning them over with his ingenious, if unconventional, ideas. His enthusiasm was infectious, and soon, there was a buzz of excitement among the staff about the new projects being developed under his guidance. Ellie Mae, meanwhile, had turned a quiet corner of the expansive gardens into a sanctuary for local wildlife. She had a way with the animals that seemed almost magical, and soon the White House grounds were alive with the sounds of birds, squirrels, and a few slightly more unusual inhabitants that she had rescued and nurtured. The staff, initially wary, soon found themselves drawn to the peace and tranquility of Ellie Mae's corner of the world. Granny, true to her word, had transformed a portion of the lawn into a thriving vegetable patch. She could be seen every morning, her apron tied firmly around her waist, tending to her tomatoes and peppers with the same care she had given her crops back home. She had become something of a local celebrity, with people stopping by the fence just to get a glimpse of the woman who had brought the country spirit to the heart of the city. And Jed, he was the glue that held it all together. He spent his time listening to the staff, listening to the visitors, and, most importantly, listening to the people. He was a presence, a calm, steady influence in an environment that was often characterized by noise and haste. He helped mediate disputes, offered a kind word to those who were overwhelmed, and reminded everyone that, at the end of the day, it was the people who mattered most. Honest John, for his part, found himself surprisingly transformed. The man who had once been driven by greed and the desire for a quick buck now found a new purpose in facilitating the Clampett's efforts. He was still the same talkative, fast-moving man, but his focus had shifted from the pursuit of profit to the pursuit of positive change. He had become, in his own way, a true friend to the family. Princess Sitting Hawk remained a fixture of the landscape, her quiet presence a constant reminder of the land's history and the importance of respect. She and Jed shared many conversations, sitting on that bench as the world rushed by, discussing everything from the nature of the spirits to the best way to grow a stubborn patch of corn. Their friendship was a bridge between two worlds, a testament to the fact that when people approach each other with open hearts, the barriers fall away. One afternoon, as the sun was setting, the president invited the whole family into the Oval Office. He sat them down not as a leader addressing citizens, but as a friend grateful for the impact they had made. "I wanted to thank you," he said, his voice sincere, "not just for your contribution, but for the spirit you have brought to this place. You have reminded us of what is really important. You have shown us that we can face our challenges with humor, with kindness, and with a genuine commitment to each other." Jed, speaking for the family, tipped his hat. "Mr. President, we have just been doing what comes natural to us. We believe that we are all part of the same big family, and the best way to live is to help each other out whenever we can. We are real proud to be here, and we are grateful for the chance to play our part." As they left the White House that evening, the weight of their responsibility felt lighter than it had when they arrived. They were still the Clampetts, still simple folks from the hills, but they had learned that their way of life, a life built on honesty, hard work, and deep, enduring connections, had a value that transcended any location. The smog, while still a challenge, was being addressed with a renewed energy and a more creative approach, thanks in no small part to the collaborative spirit that the Clampetts had helped foster. The city, and perhaps the country, felt a little bit more like a home, and that was the greatest victory of all. They continued to live their lives with the same simple, positive outlook that had always defined them. They had found their place in the heart of the nation, and in doing so, they had shown that sometimes the most important change comes from the most unexpected of sources. They were the Beverly Hillbillies, and they had found that wherever they went, they brought the best of themselves, and in doing so, they made the world just a little bit brighter. It was a beautiful life, filled with the simple, honest joys that only a family truly united could experience. They found that in every corner of the world, no matter how grand or how small, the basic truths remained the same. Kindness matters, hard work is its own reward, and there is no substitute for the love of family. And with that, they continued their journey, each day a new opportunity to share the light, to help their neighbors, and to live with the simple, enduring grace that had become their hallmark. The legacy they were building was not one of monuments or grand speeches, but one of small, everyday acts of kindness that resonated far beyond the walls of the White House. They had touched lives, they had changed perspectives, and they had shown that a little bit of hope, paired with a lot of hard work, could indeed make a world of difference. And so, they continued on, a testament to the enduring power of a simple life well lived. A story of a family that had found its way into the heart of the world, and in doing so, had helped the world find its way back to the heart of itself. As time went on, the garden flourished, the ventilation systems hummed with a quiet, efficient power, and the halls of the White House echoed with the laughter of a family that had truly found its calling. They had become a part of history, not by seeking the spot anything that would hurt the people or the earth. We will be good stewards. Granny stepped forward then, her eyes darting between the princess and the towering building. Now look here, princess, if we are going to be moving into that big place, I am going to insist on a proper vegetable garden. None of this fancy landscape that you cannot eat. I want rows of string beans, some hardy corn, and a patch of turnip greens that would make a mule kick the barn door down. And I will not have any of those snooty palace guards stopping me from tending to my sprouts. Honest John cleared his throat, looking a little apprehensive as he translated Granny's forceful requirements. The princess let out a sound that might have been a laugh, dry, raspy, and filled with a long-forgotten wisdom. She nodded once, a sharp, decisive movement of her chin. She says that a garden is the best way to keep the spirits happy, Honest John relayed, his voice sounding slightly strangled. She says that as long as the earth is turned and the seeds are sown with a good heart, the land will provide. She is pleased by your spirit, ma'am. She says that you have the energy of the sun and the resolve of the deep soil. Jethro, who had been standing a few paces back, his hands shoved deep into his pockets, suddenly perked up. Does this mean I get to set up my laboratory in the basement? I got some ideas about using the fountain water to power a new kind of cooling system for the whole city. It would be quiet as a mouse and clean as a whistle. The princess watched Jethro with a look that was equal parts curiosity and amusement. She did not need an interpreter for the spark in his eyes. She leaned toward Honest John and whispered a few words in her native tongue. Honest John looked at Jethro, then back at the princess, his eyebrows arched high. She says, Honest John began, that the young man has a spirit that moves faster than the wind. She says that if he uses his mind to help the earth rather than conquer it, he will find the answers he seeks. She warns, however, that he must be careful not to let his inventions get ahead of his wisdom. Jed patted Jethro on the shoulder. You hear that, boy? Wisdom first, then the tinkering. That is a good rule for any man. As the afternoon sun began to dip, casting long, golden shadows across the lawn, a group of men in dark suits and sunglasses emerged from the White House, their faces grim and purposeful. They walked with the stiff, synchronized gait of people who were used to being in charge. One of them, a tall man with a radio pressed to his ear, stopped a few feet away and scanned the area with suspicious eyes. Honest John stiffened, his professional veneer cracking for just a second. Stay calm, everyone. Remember, you are just humble visitors. Don't say anything that might alert them to our little arrangement. The lead security officer stopped and looked down at the group. Princess Sitting Hawk did not move, her gaze fixed on the horizon, as if she were a statue carved out of the very earth she sat upon. The officer looked at the stone in Jed's hand, his eyes widening almost imperceptibly. He looked at the princess, then back at Jed, his posture softening just a fraction. Are you the folks who were scheduled for the 3 o'clock tour? The officer asked, his voice clipped but not unkind. Jed tipped his hat again, that slow, easy grace anchoring him firmly to the earth. Yes, sir, we are. I am Jed Clampett, and this here is my family. We was just having a nice, quiet conversation with the princess here. She is a real fine neighbor once you get to know her. The officer looked at the princess, then at the stone again and seemed to make a snap decision. He stepped aside and gestured toward the grand entrance of the building. The president has been briefed on your visit. He is expecting you. Honest John let out a breath he seemed to have been holding for 5 minutes. He smoothed his tie, his confidence returning in a rush. Of course he is. We are expected. Come along, friends. We have a nation to help. As they walked toward the massive, white-column structure, the gravity of the situation began to settle over them. The sheer scale of the history contained within those walls was enough to make even a man like Jed feel a bit small. Yet, as he walked, he felt the cool, smooth stone in his pocket. A promise. A grounding weight that kept him centered. Inside, the White House was everything they had imagined and yet entirely different. It was grand, with portraits of past presidents lining the hallways, their eyes seeming to follow them as they passed. But it also felt surprisingly like a home. There were flowers in the vases, the faint scent of floor wax and old paper, and the distant sound of staff moving about their duties. They were led into a large, airy office. The president was there, standing by the window. He turned as they entered, and for a moment, the room was silent. He looked at each of them. At Jed's humble, honest face, at Granny's sturdy, determined stance, at Ellie Mae's wide-eyed wonder, and at Jethro's brimming enthusiasm. "Mr. Clampett," the president said, his voice deep and warm, "I have heard a great deal about you. Your reputation for kindness and for being a man of your word has preceded you." Jed stepped forward, his hat clutched in his hands. "Mr. President, it is a real honor. We didn't come here to make trouble. We just want to help with the smog, and maybe see if we can't make this land a little bit better for everyone. We believe that, with a bit of hard work and some good old-fashioned common sense, we can solve just about anything." The president smiled, a weary but genuine expression that touched his eyes. "I wish more people approached life with your philosophy, Mr. Clampett. We are facing some monumental challenges, and the burden is often heavy. But seeing a family like yours, standing here with such hope and such genuine concern for the community, it is truly refreshing." Granny wasted no time. "Now, Mr. President, I don't mean to be pushy, but I have a few ideas about the kitchen management here. And I have been told that the herb garden in the back has seen better days. I am prepared to roll up my sleeves and get to work on that immediately." The president laughed, a sound that seemed to fill the room with warmth. "Mrs. Clampett, I think the White House could benefit immensely from your touch. I am sure the kitchen staff would be delighted to have some authentic, home-cooked, back-home wisdom." Jethro stepped forward, his chest puffed out with pride. "And sir, I have been thinking about a way to optimize the ventilation systems so we don't have all this smog build up in the city. If I can just get access to the blueprints for the heating and cooling ducts, I could have a prototype running by the end of the week." The president looked at Jethro, then at Jed, his expression thoughtful. "A bold plan, young man. I like bold. We will look into it. But first, let us talk about the resources you have so generously offered. We have been discussing ways to invest in cleaner technology, and your contribution could be the catalyst we need." As the conversation turned to the details of the environmental initiative, Jed felt a profound sense of satisfaction. They were not just here as visitors. They were partners. They were doing what they had always done, taking what they had, building on it, and sharing it with the folks around them. It was the same spirit that had sustained them in the hills, now being applied to the heart of the nation. Throughout the afternoon, the White House felt less like a seat of power and more like a community center. They shared stories about the hills, about the simple joys of a good harvest, and the quiet dignity of a life well lived. The president listened intently, seemingly finding a respite in their simple, earnest perspectives. As evening began to settle, they found themselves out on the lawn, looking over the sprawling grounds. The city lights began to twinkle in the distance, a sea of diamonds against the velvet night. Princess Sitting Hawk was there too, sitting on a bench, watching the transformation of the city with a quiet, knowing gaze. Jed joined her on the bench. "You know, Princess, I think this might work out just fine. We are going to make this place a home, and we are going to keep our promise to look after the land." The princess turned to him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. She placed a hand on his arm, a gesture of profound acceptance. Does live a long time. She would not even sell to Lincoln? Well, she likes certain things about him. The fact that he was tall, a simple man, humble, honest. I would say that Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt have come closest to impressing Princess Sitting Hawk. She favored Teddy, did she? Well, he was a rugged outdoor man. She admired that. She liked his mustache. She called him chief hair on the lip. Them two was the only ones that come close. Huh? Yes, if there only existed a man who combined the qualities of both. Tall, simple, humble, honest, a rugged outdoor man with a mustache. You are describing Jed? One who had never been involved in politics. That is Jed. Who? Jed Clampett. He is sitting right here. Now, Granny. By charge, I think she has got it. Shucks, no. Did you hear that? Shucks, no. Says everything. He is simple, he is humble, he is honest. He is tall, and he has got hair on the lip. He is our man. Forget it. I cannot handle nothing as important as this. Mr. Clampett, when Andrew Jackson, Old Hickory, was asked to fight the Battle of New Orleans, do you know what he said? Forget it. I cannot handle nothing as important as this. Is that a fact? But he won, and you will win. History has chosen you, and you cannot refuse. Do it, Jed. Then we are sure to get an invite to the White House. Well, I am not going to do it just for that. Then you will do it? Well, at least the president is mine. Least I can do is try. Spoken like a true patriot. I will take you to Princess Sitting Hawk and act as your interpreter. You talk Indian? I learned as a child. The tongue of the Columbia Indians was the second language in our home. How come? Well, many moons ago, my family befriended the tribe. When all other pale-faces were against them, the Indians knew they could always find refuge in the home of a shaper. It was nice of your folks to take them in. Our name has become part of the Indian language, synonymous with hospitality. To this very day, to be taken in is to be shapered. Look, Jed, I think I see her. Is that her Ernest John? Yep. There she sits in front of her lonely teepee. The last of the noble Columbia Indians, the ancient and venerable Princess Sitting Hawk. Does she sit there all the time, day and night? Winter and summer, rain or shine, she keeps silent vigil over home. You think they would let her stay in a White House? It is on her land. On the contrary. Why, they have cannons to keep her out. Well, if that does not beat all. Cannons to keep out a poor old 150-year-old Indian woman? You cannot hardly blame her for feeling spiteful. Is that why she wears all that war paint? Would you not if somebody pointed cannons at you? Now, you have sympathy and understanding for her cause. She is going to like you. I feel it. Can we go talk to her now? I will ask her. She has agreed to a powwow. Chattanooga. Choo-choo. Paleface Cayuga. What did you say? I told her you were very friendly. Good. Paleface Sequoia. She says you are tall. She likes that. Paleface Anderosa. She likes your mustache. Paleface Tippecanoe. Shoshone too. She says you are a combination of Lincoln and Roseland. That is right, Cayuga of her. Paleface Potawatomi. No, Potawatomi. What was that? She wanted to know if you are a politician. Tell her I am a farmer. Paleface Manitoba. Tallahassee. She is very pleased. Tell her I am a doctor. Paleface Squazuni. Azuni. She is very impressed. I did not get no Tallahassee out of her. Tallahassee. Tallahassee. That is better. Saskatchewan. She has invited us to sit down. Well, maybe we better get down to business. Ask her if she will sell me the White House property. I will do that. Tell her if she does, I will do my best to shape her. What? Take her into the White House. Oh yes. But, Jed, we are not been tooken ourselves yet. Do not worry, dear friends. Before this day is over, I promise you we will be thoroughly shaped. What is Settenhoff doing in there? She is getting help from the spirits. Well, she ought to lay off. Sounds like she has had enough. Oh no. She is contacting the spirits of her ancestors who have gone to the happy hunting grounds, asking their advice. I hope they advise you to sell me the White House. First, you must understand, Jed, that the land is not merely dirt and stone. It is the blood and bone of my people. The spirits speak in the wind that rattles the dry leaves of autumn, and they demand that this ground be respected. I will not part with it for any amount of gold, for gold is a fever that consumes the soul of the paleface. It is a hollow promise, empty as the echoing canyons of the West. Jed tilted his hat, his brow furrowed in deep, sincere contemplation. I reckon I hear you, Princess. I surely do. It ain't about the money. It never really is when you get right down to the heart of the matter. You see, I got folks back home who feel the same way about our hills. If a man came offering a king's ransom to pave over the creek where we fished for crawdads, or to build a big city over the porch where we rocked away the summer evenings, I would have to say no, too. It is the memories that make the dirt precious. Honest John watched with a nervous smile, translating rapidly, his hands fluttering in gestures that seemed a bit too frantic for the quiet dignity of the moment. The princess listened, her face a mask of carved mahogany, unmoving except for the sharp, keen intelligence in her eyes. She grunted a single syllable, a sharp sound that clipped the air like an eagle's cry. Honest John turned to Jed, his voice hushed and reverent. She says that you have the heart of a mountain man, Jed. She says you do not speak with the forked tongue of the politicians. She is touched by your words about your own home. It has been many, many moons since a man of your stature offered such genuine empathy. Jed nodded slowly, a warm, gentle smile crinkling the corners of his eyes. Well, ma'am, tell her that I'm honored to be standing on this sacred ground. If she ever finds herself in need of a place where the air is clean and the water runs clear enough to see the pebbles at the bottom, my door in Beverly Hills is always open. Though I admit, it is a long way from her ancestral hunting grounds. Princess Sitting Hawk looked at Jed, then at the sprawling, imposing structure of the White House looming in the distance. She gestured toward it with a withered, steady hand. She says that she sees the truth in your eyes, Jed. However, there is a great weight on this land. The spirits are restless because the people who live in that house do not know the language of the earth. They argue, they fight, they lose themselves in the maze of their own making. Jed leaned in, his voice soft and persuasive. I hear tell the man who lives there now is trying his best, Princess. It is a heavy burden, being the big chief of such a vast land. Maybe if he had a neighbor who understood the old ways, someone who could remind him to look at the stars instead of just the charts, things would go a bit smoother. I ain't asking to own it for myself. I am asking so that we can take care of it together the way a good neighbor should. The princess fell silent for a long moment. The only sound was the distant hum of Washington city traffic, a low growl that seemed completely alien to the quiet, ancient presence sitting before them. She closed her eyes, her head tilted as if listening to music that no one else could hear. Then, she opened them and fixed her gaze directly on Jed. She reached into a small, beaded pouch at her side and withdrew a small, smooth white stone, handing it to Jed with a hand that trembled ever so slightly. Honest John's eyes went wide. Do you know what this means, Jed? This is the stone of ancestral trust. It has not been given to a paleface since the days of the first settlers. She is willing to negotiate. She says that if you are truly the man you claim to be, then the land can be shared, but only under the condition that the house remains a place of peace and not a fortress of policy. Jed took the stone, feeling its cool, solid weight in his palm. Felt right somehow, like coming across a lucky four-leaf clover in a field of weeds. I accept this, Princess, with all the respect due to it. You have my word as a Clampett that this house will never be used for channel. The Beverly Hillbilly I got the wind. Everybody. We are flying over a right pretty town. that there is Washington, District of Columbia. Anybody see the White House? Appears to be lots of white houses down there. Would you fasten your seatbelts, please? Yes, ma'am. We will be landing in a few minutes. You gonna feed us again before we land? I am afraid there is not time. You done had 4 meals and 3 snacks. Why, it makes me hungry. But we are landing now. Landing makes me hungry, too. We go straight to the White House, Paul? I think so, Ellie. The quicker we give our money to the president, the quicker he can commence fighting smog. Sure, I will breeze him down for supper. I am starving. Jed, if that boy takes his meals at the White House, the president's wife will never get out of the kitchen. I can help with the cooking. No, Ellie, I will do that. You make the beds and do the dusting. And Jethro, you can mow the White House lawn and rake the leaves. Let Ellie do that. The president needs me for my brain. Opu. I will likely be in the East Room or someplace sitting on his cabinet. You keep your feet off the president's furniture. Looks like we made it. The climate is on here. See you at the hotel. Shifty, what if they do not show up? They will be here any minute. I checked their flight. How are you going to get past the guard? I will handle it. It is important for the Clampetts to see me coming out of the White House. Okay, good luck, honey. Yeah. Jaffa, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Hold it. What is it? What? The president is waiting. What is it? I need to see your identification. You do not recognize me? Nope. Good. I told you, Edgar, this was a perfect disguise. See you later. Hold it. Look, you are delaying high-level meetings. Now, what do you want? I want to see your pass. My pass? Of course. My pass, but how do you know? I must have left it on the president's desk. I will go get it. Hold it. Now, what is it? I cannot let you in without a pass. Is that your final word? It is. Excellent. You have passed the test with flying colors. Congratulations. Now, let me see. Now, you are guard number 16. Escape gets a 1 rating. The president will be pleased. Now, do not be surprised if there is a little something extra in your stocking at Christmas. Hold it. Now, look, you have proven your efficiency, my good man. Do not press your luck. I may drop you to a B+. Just candy canes and bubble gum in your stocking. Beat it. Beat it? Cavill, 1 word from me and you will be guarding a government igloo in Iceland. I am going to count to 3. If you are not gone, never mind. I think my pigeons have just flown in from the West Coast. Danny, big house the president is got. Nice big yard, too. Lots of room for critters. Reckon he has got a garden and chickens? Likely, I would bet. Well, here is all our stuff. Here you are, Mr. Taxi Driver. Thank you. Now, tell me, what time is the next public tour of the White House? 3 o'clock. Yeah, remember that. I am going to ask questions later. Tell the president I will be there. Mr. Schaefer. Honest, John. Well, bless my soul if it is not the Clampetts. What brings you to Washington, of all places? We are here to see the president. We want to talk to him about the smog problem. We are going to help him get rid of the stuff. What a coincidence. You just appointed me chairman of a very special committee for that purpose. I am ready to give him my money if I just knew how. Another coincidence. Just happens to be the function of my committee. Are you lying? I try to do my humble bit. Shall I make out the check to the president? As a matter of fact, the check should be made payable to my committee. What is that? Citizens Against Smog Horror. That is quite a lot to write. Just use the initials. Fine. Citizens Against Smog Horror. Now, shall I make it for the whole 95 million? No. That might be a bit hard to handle. What do you mean? Well, you see, other public-spirited citizens not as wealthy as you might be embarrassed and not contribute at all. Oh well, we do not want that to happen. I am glad you understand. Give him $5, Jed. Lots of folks got that much. On the other hand, let us not go too far the other way. A little friendly embarrassment never hurt anybody. How about starting with $1 million? Excellent. just the right amount to get the ball rolling. That is 1, naught, 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 comma, naught, 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 dot, naught, naught. Boy has got a great head for ciphers, is he not? He is a real knothead. Well, there you are, Mr. Honest John. I hope that primes the pump. Beautiful. The president will be delighted. Are you going to show it to him? At our afternoon meeting. What time is that again, my good man? 3 o'clock. That will be on time. I am a busy man. You must know the president pretty good. Pals, buddies. Well, why do you not take us to the meeting with you? We would like to say howdy to him. And he would like to say hi-dee to you. Oh, golly. However, the Secret Service requires security clearance. Will that take long? Do you happen to have birth certificates, color photographs, passports, and a complete set of fingerprints with you? Why, no, we are not. Well, I am afraid it will take a while. Meantime, I will put you up at a nice, comfortable hotel. Yeah, taxi. These are dainty fine accommodations, Mr. Honest John. Well, thank you, Mr. Clampett. Here, let me show you something. Here you have a magnificent view over the entire city of Washington. Well, is not that pretty? Granny, believe me, Mr. Honest John is fixing us up real nice here. Well, it is all right, but it is not like staying at the White House. Sure is not. They got a kitchen over there where a fella can get a snack when he is hungry. Are we not going to get to stay at the White House at all? Ellie Mae, do not pay no attention to him, Mr. Honest John. He is acting awful pushy. Not at all. As soon as I have straightened out the matter of security clearance, I am sure the president and his wife will issue you a formal invitation. Oh boy! Well, you tell them that they are not taking in a family of freeloaders. We will pitch in and help with the housework and the chores. I will make that matter crystal clear to him. We are glad of life to you. Glad to do it. See you later, friends. Shifty. Baby, how did it go? Like $1 million. And here it is. $1 million. Beautiful. I can have us packed in 5 minutes. Wait a minute. Where are we going? Mexico, Venezuela, you name it. Flo, there are 94 more where this came from. Now, do not get greedy. Let us take our $1 million and play it safe. Baby, this is a chance of a lifetime. Think big. I am thinking big. We could get 20 years apiece. Max, I got those hillbillies in the palm of my hand. They are grapes waiting to be picked. How? Well, I got $1 million for smog. I will get $1 million for something else. How? I will think of something. I will sell them the White House. How? You sound like an Indian. That is it. You are going to be an Indian. What? It is beautiful. They will love it. You are the last of the Columbia Indian. And that, dear friends, is why the president is embarrassed to invite you to the White House. You mean he does not even own the house he lives in? Not so much as a stick of furniture belongs to him. That is terrible. No wonder he cannot ask us to stay. I would feel the same way in somebody else's house. Who owns it? The White House stands on Indian ground. No. Yes, this entire area was once occupied by the Columbia Indians. That is why, to this day, it is called the District of Columbia. Well, cannot the government buy it from the Indians? There is only one surviving member of the Columbia tribe, and she refuses to sell. She? Yes, the ancient and noble Princess Sitting Hawk. What noble mean? Proud and defiant woman. Not all the pale-faced pony soldiers can drive her from the land she feels is rightfully hers. Why will she not sell? Sitting Hawk does not trust politicians. She says they speak with forked tongue. Well, cannot the president get her to sell the White House to him? I have been chief executive since Lincoln has tried. Lincoln? How old is she? Well, no one knows for sure, but at least 150. Indians. I am afraid there isn't enough time for another meal, Jethro. She replied with a chuckle. You have already had 4 full meals and 3 large snacks since we left California. Why, all this flying just makes me hungry, Jethro explained. But we are landing now, boy, Jed reminded him. Landing makes me hungry, too, Jethro muttered, adjusting his belt. Do we go straight to the White House, Pop? Ellie Mae asked as the plane touched down smoothly on the runway. I think so, Ellie. Jed nodded. The quicker we give our money to the president, the quicker he can commence fighting the smog. Sure, I will breeze him down for supper, Jethro said as they gathered their bags. I am absolutely starving. Jed shook his head. Jethro, if that boy takes all his meals at the White House, the president's wife will never get out of the kitchen. I can help with the cooking and the dishes, Granny offered as they walked through the terminal. No, Ellie, I will do that, Granny corrected herself, looking at Ellie Mae. You make the beds and do the dusting around the big house. And Jethro, Jed added, you can mow the wide White House lawn and rake up all the autumn leaves. Let Ellie do that, Jethro pouted. The president needs me up in the high-level rooms for my giant brain power. Oh pooh, Ellie Mae laughed, nudging her cousin. I will likely be in the East Room or someplace important, sitting right on his cabinet, Jethro declared proudly. You keep your muddy feet off the president's fine furniture, Jethro, Granny warned him as they stepped out of the airport terminal into a waiting taxicab. Looks like we finally made it, Jed said, looking out at the beautiful historic buildings as the taxi drove toward the center of the city. The climate is nice on here. See you at the hotel after we look around. A few blocks away, near the heavy iron gates of the White House, two familiar faces from the past were standing near a park bench. It was Honest John, also known as Shifty Schaefer, and his slick partner, Flo. Shifty, what if they don't show up after all? Flo asked nervously, looking at her watch. They will be here any minute, Flo, Honest John assured her with a confident grin. I checked their flight details at the airport terminal. How are you going to get past the security guard at the gate? She asked. I will handle it smoothly, he said, adjusting his fine coat. It is incredibly important for the Clampetts to see me coming right out of the White House gates. Like an important official. Okay. Good luck, honey, Flo said, stepping back into the shadow of the trees. Yeah, he muttered, walking toward the gate. A stern security guard stepped out of the guardhouse, blocking his path. Hold it right there, sir. What is it? What? Honest John blustered, pretending to be deeply offended. The president is waiting for me inside. What is the meaning of this delay? I need to see your official identification, the guard said firmly. You don't recognize me? Honest John asked, puffing out his chest. Nope, the guard replied flatly. Good, Honest John said, turning around as if talking to someone else. I told you, Edgar, this was a perfect, flawless disguise. See you later. Hold it right there, the guard repeated, grabbing his arm. Look, you are delaying high-level international meetings, Honest John snapped. Now, what exactly do you want from me? I want to see your official security pass, the guard insisted. My pass? Of course, Honest John stammered, patting his pockets. My pass, but how do you know? I must have left it right on the president's desk during our morning coffee. I will just go inside and get it. Hold it, the guard said, pulling him back. Now what is it? I cannot let you in without a valid pass. Is that your final word on the matter? It is, the guard said. Excellent, Honest John declared, clapping the guard on the back. You have passed the security test with flying colors. Congratulations, young man. Now let me see. Now you are guard number 16. Escape gets an A1 rating. The president will be very pleased with your efficiency. Now, don't be surprised if there is a little something extra in your stocking at Christmas time from the administration. Hold it, the guard said, looking confused. Now look, you have proven your efficiency, my good man, Honest John said quickly, backing away. Don't press your luck today. I may drop your rating to AB+. Just candy canes and bubble gum in your stocking if you keep arguing. Beat it. Beat it? The guard asked, raising an eyebrow. One word from me to the chief of staff and you will be guarding a government igloo in the middle of Iceland, Honest John threatened. I am going to count to 3. If you are not gone, never mind. I think my primary targets have just arrived from the West Coast. A yellow taxi pulled up to the curb, and the Clampett family began unloading their old canvas bags and baskets. "Danny, big house the president has got," Jethro remarked, staring through the fence at the executive mansion. "Nice big yard, too. Lots of room for all kinds of critters. Reckon he has got a vegetable garden and chickens in the back, Uncle Jed?" "Likely, I would bet," Jed smiled, handing some bills to the driver. "Well, here is all our stuff. Here you are, Mr. Taxi Driver. Thank you kindly." "Thank you, sir," the driver said, looking at the generous tip. "Now tell me," Jed asked, "what time is the next public tour of the White House?" 3 o'clock, the driver replied before pulling away. "Yeah, remember that," Granny told Jethro. "I am going to ask questions later to make sure you are paying attention. Tell the president I will be there." Just as they turned toward the gates, Honest John stepped out from the walkway, looking surprised and delighted. "Mr. Clampett, Honest John. Well, bless my soul, if it isn't the entire Clampett family. What on earth brings you to Washington, of all places?" "We are here to see the president," Jed explained, shaking his hand warmly. "We want to talk to him about the smog problem. We are going to help him get rid of the stuff across the nation." "What an incredible coincidence," Honest John exclaimed, clasping his hands together. "The president just appointed me chairman of a very special committee for that exact purpose. I am ready to give him my money if I just knew how to transfer it," Jed said. "Another beautiful coincidence," Honest John smiled. "That just happens to be the primary function of my new committee." "Are you lying?" Granny asked, looking at him with a sharp eye. "I try to do my humble bit for the country, ma'am," he assured her righteously. "Shall I make out the check directly to the president?" Jed asked, reaching into his coat for his checkbook. "As a matter of fact, the check should be made payable directly to my committee," Honest John explained smoothly. "What is the name of it?" Jed asked. "Citizens Against Smog Horror," Honest John declared. "That is quite a lot to write out on a small line," Jed noted, pen poised. "Just use the initials," Honest John suggested quickly. "It is much easier." "Fine," Jed nodded. "Citizens Against Smog Horror Cash. Now, shall I make it out for the whole $95 million? No, Honest John said, holding up his hands in panic, realizing a $95 million check would immediately trigger federal fraud investigations. That might be a bit too hard to handle all at once. "What do you mean?" Jed asked, puzzled. "Well, you see," Honest John explained rapidly, "other public-spirited citizens, who are not nearly as wealthy as you are, might be deeply embarrassed by such a large amount and choose not to contribute anything at all." "Oh well, we certainly don't want that to happen," Jed agreed. "I am glad you understand these matters." "Give him $5, Jed," Granny suggested. "Lots of folks have got that much to spare." On the other hand, Honest John countered, "Let us not go too far the other way. A little friendly embarrassment never hurt anybody. How about starting with a modest $1 million? "Excellent," Jed agreed. "Just the right amount to get the ball rolling." Jethro watched as Jed wrote out the numbers in words. "That is 1, comma, not, comma, not, dot. Jethro counted aloud. "The boy has got a great head," Mr. Little reminded him. "Oh, yes, Mr. Drysdale muttered, reaching for his wallet. "How much is it?" "Well, ordinarily, I receive $7,500 for a high-level performance like this," Mr. Little explained. "However, in this specific case, since it is for a local bank, I will cut it in half. How is $3,750? $3,750 it is," Mr. Drysdale groaned, counting out bills from a thick stack. 20, 40. "Now, you owe me $2.50 in change." "No," Mr. Little corrected him gently, That is exactly $3,750. For 5 minutes of work, Mr. Drysdale complained. The President of the United States does not get that much money, and he is the real thing. Just then, Granny walked around the corner, looking for Jed. "Excuse me, Chief," she said, stopping when she saw the stranger. "These foreclosures are red. Aren't you Rich Little, the famous impressionist?" "Yes, I am, ma'am," he replied with a polite bow. "Oh, Mr. Little, I just love your impression of John Wayne," Granny said, her cheeks turning slightly pink. Mr. Little instantly altered his posture, narrowing his eyes and drawing his shoulders back in a perfect imitation of the Western icon. "Huh? Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Now, let me say that if we had girls like you out on the trail, I never would have given my horse a second look." "Oh, that is absolutely marvelous," Granny chuckled, clapping her hands. "Thank you. Hey," Miss Jane added, walking over, "and your Ed Sullivan is an absolute classic." "Oh, Ed Sullivan?" Mr. Little smiled, suddenly shifting his stance, tensing his shoulders, and raising his hands in front of his chest. "Wonderful. Would you do me a favor there, young sir? Would you come on our show next Sunday night and bring your stuffed giraffe?" "Yes. I would love to have you. What else are you going to have on the show?" "A World War I battle with the original cast, in living color with a surprise ending." "Oh, is he not fabulous?" Miss Jane laughed, turning to Granny. "He certainly is," Granny agreed. "It has been a real pleasure, ladies," Mr. Little said, preparing to depart. "Wait a minute," Mr. Drysdale interjected, stepping between them. "You are forgetting something again." "Oh yes, you will see," Mr. Little said. "What are you charging her for Wayne and Sullivan?" Mr. Drysdale asked suspiciously. "Oh, nothing at all," Mr. Little replied with a grin. "I will accept the same arrangement. Watch this." He walked away, leaving the banker completely bewildered. The next morning, back at the mansion, a local delivery man in a crisp white uniform walked up to the back porch where Granny was packing a basket. "Don't leave no milk for a spell," Granny told him. "We are going to Washington, young man." "Yeah?" the man asked, pulling a folded piece of paper from his pocket. "Well, you are definitely going to Washington." "We are?" Granny asked, her eyes going wide. "That is what the message says here," the man said, handing her the paper. "Have a good trip, ma'am." "Hey, Uncle Jed," Ellie Mae called out as Jed walked onto the porch. "We are going to Washington after all. We just got the official message." "What did you say, girl?" Jed asked, taking the paper from Granny. "We are going to Washington," Ellie Mae repeated happily. "The fellow in the white coat just brought the official message directly from the president." "Well, where is he?" Jed asked, looking around the driveway. "Yonder he goes," Jethro said, pointing down the road as the delivery truck drove away. "Ert that the milkman?" Jed asked, squinting. "Being a milkman is what you call a clever cover," Jethro explained knowingly. "A cover?" Jed asked. "He is really a high-level secret agent for the government," Jethro declared with absolute certainty. "Is he not?" "Yeah. I learned all about that sort of top-secret stuff when I was training to be a double-knot spy." "Well," Jed said, reading the typed letter which simply said to proceed to the Capitol for environmental review, "I reckon we best get packing then. Should I convert my electric car back to steam for the trip, Uncle Jed?" Jethro asked eagerly. "No," Jed said, shaking his head. "I think we better fly on a big airplane this time. When the president sends for you like this, you don't want to keep him waiting." Back at the bank, Miss Jane was answering the telephone frantically. "Well, if he comes in, will you please ask him to call his office immediately? It is an absolute emergency. Thank you." She hung up just as Mr. Drysdale walked in, carrying several large shopping bags. "How do you like it, Miss Hathaway?" he asked proudly, pulling out a new summer suit. "Chief, where on earth have you been?" she cried out. "Shopping," he replied casually. "Any important messages while I was out?" "Oh, just one. But it is a real beauty, Miss Jane said, her voice dripping with tension. The Clampetts are leaving for Washington right now. What? Mr. Drysdale screamed, dropping his bags. They are absolutely determined to give their $95 million to the president. She explained. We have got to stop them at all costs, Mr. Drysdale panicked. Get Rich Littleback on the phone immediately. You are kidding, Chief, she said, crossing her arms. Here is a signed blank check, Mr. Drysdale said, shoving a piece of paper into her hands. He can make it out for any amount of money he likes. I will rush up to the Clampett mansion right now and try to delay them until he calls back. Mr. Drysdale arrived at the mansion out of breath, running through the open front doors. I made it, he gasped, looking around the empty foyer. They are still here. Or are they? Clarence. Granny. Ellie Mae. Jethro. There is nobody here. He walked into the kitchen and found a small note on the table next to a bowl of water. Oh, hello, Bessie, he said to the family chimpanzee who sat in a chair. Is that note for me? How are you? He picked up the note and read it aloud. Dear Mr. Drysdale, please feed the critters till we get back from seeing the president. Meanwhile, high above the clouds, a massive commercial airliner was cruising smoothly across the country. Inside the first-class cabin, the Clampett family was enjoying the luxury of air travel. Enjoying your flight, ma'am? The polite flight attendant asked, leaning down toward Granny. Yes, ma'am, Granny replied with a bright smile. Thank you kindly. We are going to Washington to see the president himself. We are going to give him $95 million to fix the air, Jethro added loudly from the seat behind them. Oh boy, the flight attendant smiled, assuming it was a joke. You know the president personally? Talked to him on the horn just this morning, Jed explained from across the aisle. I am fetching him a fine baby possum to keep him company, Ellie Mae said, lifting the lid of a small basket slightly to reveal a furry little face. And I am taking him a jar of my best pickled pawpaws and some hand-slung chitlins, Granny added proudly. We was originally going to drive there in my brand new electric car, Jethro told the attendant, but I simply could not find a 3,000-mile extension cord anywhere in Beverly Hills. That is very interesting, the flight attendant said, her smile freezing slightly as she backed away. Young lady, Jed called out to another passing crew member. How high would you say we are flying right now? A lot higher than the birds, sir, she replied politely before continuing down the aisle. After a long and comfortable flight, the plane began its descent over the nation's capital. Jethro pressed his face against the window glass. I got the wind, everybody. We're flying right over a right pretty town down there. That there is Washington, District of Columbia, Jed explained, looking over his nephew's shoulder. Anybody see the White House yet? Granny asked, squinting through her glasses. Appears to be lots of white houses down there from up here. The captain turned on the intercom system. Would you please fasten your seatbelts at this time? The flight attendant requested, walking through the cabin. We will be landing in just a few minutes. You gonna feed us again before we land, miss? Jethro asked, rubbing his stomach. Still stammered, looking wildly around the room for help. Miss Hathaway, tell them why not. Miss Jane looked at Jed with an honest expression. Mr. Clampett, it is your money. You may do with it exactly as you wish. Mr. Drysdale glared at his secretary, his teeth clenched. Who asked you to butt in? You did, Chief, she replied smoothly. Well, butt out, Mr. Drysdale snapped. He turned back to Jed, forcing a nervous chuckle. Now, Mr. Clampett, this sort of thing will take time. Government red tape, internal revenue, Secret Service, White House clearance. It is a highly complex process. Now, I will work out all the details and call you. Well, I would appreciate it if you would hurry, Mr. Drysdale, Jed said, because we would like to get started on our trip. Right away, Mr. Drysdale promised, ushering Jed toward the door. Oh, and you do not have to give us the 95 million in cash, Jed added before leaving. I reckon the president will take a check. Well, I will discuss it with him, Mr. Drysdale lied smoothly. I will let you know. The moment the door closed behind Jed, Mr. Drysdale grabbed his hair and began pacing the room in a complete panic. Miss Hathaway, you have got to help me. If they take their $95 million out of my bank, I am completely ruined. I have got absolutely nothing left to live for. Oh, now, Chief, Miss Jane said, trying to calm him down. A suicide note, Mr. Drysdale cried out, grabbing a piece of paper and a pen from his desk. That will stop them. They are tender-hearted people. Here, take this down. Mr. Clampett, because you are withdrawing your money, my death is entirely on your hands. Chief, no, Miss Jane protested, refusing to write. Now, Mr. Drysdale said, ignoring her as he scribbled the words himself. Tie that up, pin it to your dress, and throw yourself right out the window. Me? Miss Jane asked, her jaw dropping. They love you, Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale argued desperately. This will teach them a great, valuable lesson. Thanks, but no thanks, Miss Jane said, stepping back from the window. I promise, this is the absolute last favor I will ever ask of you, Mr. Drysdale begged. Forget it, Chief, she said firmly. What? Mr. Drysdale yelled. If you are too chicken to throw yourself out the window for the bank, I will do it myself. All right, come over here. I cannot throw you out from there. What? Miss Jane gasped as Mr. Drysdale lunged toward her. But before anything could happen, a loud automobile horn began honking furiously from the street below. Mr. Drysdale ran to the window and looked down into the bank parking lot. Jethro had pulled up in the old family truck once again, but this time there was no steam. The vehicle was completely silent, yet it was moving smoothly. Jed, Granny, and Ellie Mae were sitting in the back, looking incredibly proud. What is all the honking for, boy? Jed asked as Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane ran out to the sidewalk. I have done come up with an invention that beats steam completely, Jethro shouted from the driver's seat. Yeah, I see the boiler is not going, Jed remarked, looking over the modified engine block. Yes, sir. Notice how quiet she is? Jethro beamed. No noise, no smoke at all. No smoke? Jed asked, impressed. She runs entirely on electricity, Jethro declared. Well, doggy, Jed said with a proud grin, I am real proud of you, boy. Just then, the bank's assistant manager ran out of the building, holding a long telephone cord that stretched all the way from the lobby. Mr. Clampett, the president is calling you. All the way from Washington. The president of the United States is calling me? Jed asked, stepping down from the truck in amazement. Yes, sir, Mr. Clampett, the manager said, handing him the receiver. They are bringing the old fellow to the phone right now. In the background, a man named Mr. Little, who was a master of voices and impressions, stood near a phone booth around the corner, holding a handkerchief over the mouthpiece to alter his tone. He whispered to an accomplice, Is he not in a straitjacket? Oh no, he is not dangerous. He just suffers from the delusion that he is worth $95 million. No wonder he is in the funny farm, the accomplice chuckled. The whole family is like that. You know, it is wonderful of you to look after them, Mr. Drysdale. They are very sweet people, Mr. Drysdale whispered back into his extension line from the bank lobby. Nothing but sweet. Hurry, Dan. Do not keep them waiting on the line. Hey, tell them about my electric car, Jethro called out to Jed. Hello? Hello? Jed spoke into the receiver. Hello, Jed Clampett speaking. Hello, Mr. Clampett. A booming, dignified voice responded on the other end, sounding exactly like the leader of the free world. This is the president speaking. Is that sure enough you, Mr. President? Jed asked, tilting his hat back. Oh yes, make no mistake about that, the voice assured him. I am indeed the president. Jed turned to his family, nodding solemnly. That is him, all right. Now, Mr. Clampett, the voice continued, Mr. Drysdale has told me of your incredibly generous and patriotic offer to donate your entire fortune to the fight against air pollution. Yes, sir, Jed said. It is only $95 million, but you are sure welcome to it. And we will bring it right to you right there in the White House. The whole family is coming. This here is Granny, Mr. President. Granny leaned close to the phone, shouting into it. I will bring you some pickled pawpaws and some hand-slung chickens, Mr. President. Mr. President, Ellie Mae chimed in. This here is Ellie Mae. Would you like a nice little baby possum to play with in the Oval Office? My nephew Jethro is not here to say howdy right now, Jed added, but he is going to drive us all the way to Washington in his brand new invention, the electric car. No, 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 the voice on the phone said quickly, sounding slightly alarmed. Do not come to Washington. We have got enough people like you here already. You public-spirited citizens, Well, Jed asked, how do we get the money to you then, sir? Well, I am glad you asked me that, the voice replied, adopting a very political tone. I want to make this point very clear. What is the point I want to make very clear? Leave your money in the bank. The Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills? Jed asked. Precisely, the voice said, where it will draw maximum interest, a compounded semi-annual interest, in the absolute care of your wise and friendly banker, Milburn Drysdale. Well, naturally, we will do whatever you say, Mr. President, Jed said, nodding. But the family is going to be awful disappointed. We was hoping to get away to Washington. Oh, no, no, do not try to get away, the voice urged. You will stay right there and do exactly what the nice man in the white coat tells you to do. Goodbye now. Goodbye, Mr. President, Jed said as the line went dead. What did he say, Jed? Granny asked, looking disappointed. He said he does not want us to come to Washington right now, Jed explained, handing the phone back to the manager. Well, what are we supposed to do, pal? Jethro asked, slouching in his seat. He says he is going to send a man in a white coat to tell us, Jed replied, rubbing his chin. Jethro, I just talked to the president, and we will not be driving to Washington in your electric car after all. Just as well, Uncle Jed, Jethro admitted, looking down at a massive spool of wire in the back of the truck. I never found an extension cord long enough to get us all the way there anyway. Around the corner, Mr. Rich Little hung up the phone and turned to Mr. Drysdale, who was wiping sweat from his forehead. Mr. Little, that was a magnificent performance, Mr. Drysdale praised, handing him a handkerchief. Thank you. Well, your impersonation of the president was absolutely incredible, Miss Jane agreed, walking up behind them. Thank you, Mr. Little smiled. I hope to see you again sometime. Take good care of yourself, Mr. Drysdale. Mr. Drysdale began to walk away, but Mr. Little cleared his throat loudly. Mr. Drysdale, are you not forgetting something? Oh, what is that? The banker asked, turning around. My fee main to work on first. A steam car or an electric car? Why not a gas turbine? Mr. Drysdale asked sarcastically. Oh, I am not going to mess with hats, Jethro said, shaking his head. Just cars. Jed stepped between Mr. Drysdale and the money sack. Mr. Drysdale, I have already told you this money is staying right here. Mr. Drysdale, get off of my money, Jethro added, thinking his uncle meant the physical sack belonged to him. It is my money. No, it is not, Mr. Drysdale snapped. It is mine. Well, it is my sack, Jethro argued. All right, Mr. Drysdale said, exasperated. I will dump the money out on the floor and you can have the canvas sack. Good, Jethro said, nodding. Just dump it in that truck out front. It is staying here, Jed repeated firmly, ending the debate. But it is not safe here, Mr. Drysdale pleaded, gesturing wildly around the beautiful room. Why, until you showed up. What? No, it is going back into my vault where it belongs. Oh, Chief, do not stand there, Hathaway. Use your gun. Miss Jane drew herself up to her full height, her hand resting on the holster. That is an excellent idea. Stand back, Mr. Clampett. I should hate to hit you. Mr. Drysdale looked at her in shock. You traitor. Mr. Drysdale, get a hold of yourself, Jed said, calming the situation down. I have already promised this money to a fellow that is going to get rid of all the smog. Not Jethro, Mr. Drysdale asked, horrified. No, Jed explained. This fellow is going to drill a massive tunnel straight through the San Bernardino Mountains, put in a great big industrial fan, and draw all the smog right out of the city of Los Angeles. But that is a completely preposterous idea, Mr. Drysdale scoffed. Yeah, Jed smiled, we like it too. Miss Jane stepped forward, adjusting her guard cap once more. Mr. Clampett, the problem of smog is simply too big to be handled locally by individuals. It has to be solved on a grand national level. Is that a fact? Jed asked, listening intently. Only the President of the United States can get together the immense brain power and the vast amount of money necessary to tackle such a task, Miss Jane continued. Why, this $700,000 isn't even a single drop in the bucket. Well, Jed asked, looking thoughtful, how much does the President need? Oh, millions, billions, Mr. Drysdale interjected quickly, seeing an opportunity. I will just take this chicken feed back to the bank for safekeeping while you think about it. I will study on it, Mr. Drysdale, Jed said, allowing the banker to pick up the sack. No, give up, Chief, Miss Jane said to herself, shaking her head at the banker's antics. Hold it, Hathaway, Mr. Drysdale barked, turning on his secretary as they stepped outside. I am not through with you yet. What now? She asked with a sigh. You are guilty of conduct unbecoming an employee of the Commerce Bank, Mr. Drysdale declared righteously. Oh, big deal, Miss Jane muttered. For cowardice in the face of action, Mr. Drysdale continued, pointing an accusing finger. For failure to obey a direct order from your superior officer. For treachery and utter insubordination. You are hereby dishonorably discharged as a bank guard and reduced immediately to the rank of secretary. Hallelujah, Miss Jane said, a look of profound relief washing over her face. Do not expect a Christmas bonus this year, Mr. Drysdale added sharply as they walked toward the bank vehicle. I have never had a Christmas bonus, Miss Jane pointed out. Well, do not expect one this year either, Mr. Drysdale said. Now get the truck. As they reached the driveway, a loud sputtering and hissing sound filled the air. A massive cloud of white vapor was billowing from the back of the old Clampett family truck. Boy, what have you done to that truck? Mr. Drysdale cried out, coughing as the vapor enveloped them. Looks like the boob has set the whole thing on fire. Jethro, what did you do? Jed asked, walking out onto the porch with Ellie Mae and Granny following close behind. Jethro emerged from the cloud of steam, his face covered in soot, but his smile wider than ever. I converted this rascal to steam, Uncle Jed. You are looking at the ultimate answer to air pollution by automobile. The Jethro Bodine steam car. I have perfected a clean engine. Granny sniffed the air and shook her head. I am going back inside. I told you that for this clean engine jokes it just makes a mess. Uncle Jed, Jethro said, wiping his brow. Honest John is not going to be needing his money no more now that I have personally whipped the smog. Problem with my new invention, so I can use it to mass produce my steam car. Hold on, boy, Jed said, holding up a hand. According to Miss Jane, only the President himself can handle a small problem like smog. The President of the United States? Jethro asked, his eyes turning wide with wonder. That is right, Jed said. He is the only one that can bring together the brains and the money. Well, here stands the whole kit and caboodle, Jethro declared proudly. I will just hop on my brand new steam car, drive all the way to Washington, pull up right in front of the White House, and give him the brains and the money all in one single package. Hold on, boy, Jed repeated gently. What you have got there is just a drop in the bucket. And it is not likely enough money either to fix the whole country. Talking about the money, Granny, Jed said, turning to her as she looked out from the doorway. Mr. Drysdale says the president's lot will need millions, even billions of dollars. I was thinking of giving him all my money. Jethro nodded vigorously. Okay, I will stop by the bank and get the rest of it. Well, Pop, Ellie Mae said, running up to her father's side, if Jethro goes to Washington, I want to go too, and they are not going without me and my critters. I was just coming to that, Jed smiled, looking at his family. I think it would be a fine trip for the whole family to see the nation's capital. I best go leave a note for the milkman, Granny said, nodding in agreement as she turned back inside. Tell him we are going to Washington for a spell. Later that afternoon, inside the executive office of the Commerce Bank, Mr. Drysdale was furiously dictating a letter to Miss Jane, who sat quietly with her notepad. And since you have failed to make your final payment promptly, we are forced to repossess your automobile, Mr. Drysdale dictated, his face tight with financial severity. Sincerely, your friendly banker, Milburn Drysdale. Miss Jane stopped writing and looked up in disbelief. Chief, you are telling your own brother you are repossessing his car? Well, Mr. Drysdale admitted, rubbing his chin, that is a little cold, is it not? Let us add a postscript. Postscript. Regards to Betty and the babies. Yes, that softens it nicely. A knock sounded at the office door. Yes, who is it? Mr. Drysdale called out. The door swung open, and Jed Clampett walked in, carrying the canvas sack. It is me, Mr. Drysdale. I fetched you back your sack of chicken feed. Mr. Drysdale leaped up from his desk, his eyes shining as he grabbed the sack. Oh, bless you, Mr. Clampett. Miss Jane watched the banker cradle the sack like a newborn child. Quite happy to get it, is he not? She remarked to Jed. No chicken could be happier, Jed smiled. I studied on what you said about letting the president fight the smog, Mr. Drysdale. Wonderful, Mr. Drysdale beamed, hugging the sack tighter. Excellent decision. The cashier tells me that, counting this sack here, I have got right at $95 million in your bank now, Jed explained calmly. Wonderful, truly wonderful, Mr. Drysdale repeated, his heart swelling with the thought of such a massive deposit. So, Jed continued with a casual nod, we are going to take it all to Washington and give it directly to the president. Mr. Drysdale froze, his smile vanishing instantly. The color drained from his face as he stared at Jed. Mr. Clampett, you cannot give all your money to the president. Why not? Jed asked, genuinely puzzled. Oh, because Mr. Drysdale years old. Jethro nodded sagely. Indians does live a long time, I reckon. She wouldn't even sell the land to Abraham Lincoln? Jed asked, fascinated by the history. Well, she did like certain things about him, Honest John admitted, pacing the room. The fact that he was exceptionally tall, a simple man, humble, honest. I would say that Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt have come the absolute closest to ever. Impressing princess sitting hawk. Jed smiled. She favored Teddy, did she? Well, he was a rugged outdoor man, Mr. Clampett, Honest John explained. She admired that greatly. She liked his big mustache. In her native tongue, she affectionately called him Chief Hair on the Lip. Granny clapped her hands together, looking at the con man. Them high was the only ones that come close, huh? Yes, Honest John sighed dramatically, turning his back to the family. If there only existed a man today who combined the finest qualities of both. A man who was tall, simple, humble, honest. A rugged outdoor man with a fine mustache. Granny's eyes shifted slowly toward her son-in-law. You're describing Jed. Honest John spun around, feigning utter shock. One who had never been involved in dirty politics. That's Jed, Jethro shouted, pointing a finger. Honest John gasped, staring at Jed as if seeing him for the first time. Who? Jed Clampett, Granny declared proudly. He's sitting right here. Honest John took a dramatic step back, clutching his brow. By George, I think she's got it. Jed shook his head, looking thoroughly embarrassed by the sudden attention. Shucks, no. Honest John pointed a triumphant finger at him. Did you hear that? Shucks, no. That phrase says absolutely everything. Mr. Clampett, he's simple, he's humble, he's honest, he's tall, and he's got hair on the lip. He is our man. Jed waved his hands, trying to dismiss the grand praise. Forget it, Honest John. I can't handle nothing as important as this. Honest John stepped up to him, his voice rising with patriotic fervor. Mr. Clampett, when Andrew Jackson, Old Hickory himself, was asked to lead the nation and fight the grand battle of New Orleans, do you know what he said? Jed blinked. What did he say? He said, forget it. I can't handle nothing as important as this. Honest John shouted dramatically. Jed's eyes widened in surprise. Is that a fact? But he went anyway, and he won, Honest John declared, slamming his fist into his palm. And you will win too, Jed. History has chosen you, and you simply cannot refuse the call of your country. Do it, Jed, Granny urged, pulling at his sleeve. Then we are sure to get a proper invite to stay at the White House. Jed looked at his family's eager faces, then sighed softly, a look of quiet determination settling over his rugged features. Well, I ain't gonna do it just for that, Granny, but if the president is truly in a bind, the least I can do is try. Honest John beamed, clapping his hands together. Spoken like a true American patriot, I will personally take you to Princess Sitting Hawk right now, and act as your official tribal interpreter. Jed looked at him, surprised. You talk Indian, Honest John? I learned as a small child, Jed. Honest John bragged smoothly as he led them toward the door. The ancient tongue of the Columbia Indians was practically the second language in our humble home. How come? Jethro asked, following closely. Well, many moons ago, my family befriended the local tribe, Honest John explained as they walked down the hotel corridor. When all other palefaces were against them, the noble Indians knew they could always find safe refuge in the home of a Schaefer. It was exceptionally nice of your folks to take them in like that, John. Honest John smiled darkly to himself. Our very name has become an integral part of the Indian language, synonymous with grand hospitality, Jed. To this very day, to be taken in by someone is known in their tongue as to be Schaefered.
Chapter 18, The Powwow.
A short while later, Honest John led Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro down a secluded, wooded path near the outskirts of a grand Washington park. Through the thick trees, a strange, colorful structure came into view. It was a makeshift canvas teepee, covered in painted symbols that looked suspiciously like modern graffiti. Sitting directly in front of the structure on a woven blanket was a figure wrapped in a heavy, colorful wool blanket. The figure wore a massive, towering feathered headdress that completely obscured their face, along with a pair of bright red sneakers peeking out from beneath the fringe. Look, Jed, Honest John whispered, pausing behind a bush. I think I see her. Jed squinted through the leaves. Is that her, Honest John? Yep, Honest John nodded solemnly. There she sits in front of her lonely, majestic teepee, the last of the noble Columbia Indians, the ancient and venerable Princess Sitting Hawk. Granny peered over Jed's shoulder, her brow furrowed. Does she sit right there all the time, Honest John? Day and night, Granny, the con man lied smoothly. Winter and summer, rain or shine, she keeps her silent, lonely vigil over her ancestral home. Jethro shook his head, looking toward the distant silhouette of the White House. You think they'd let her stay inside the White House, Uncle Jed? It's on her land, after all. On the contrary, Jethro, Honest John sighed dramatically. Why? The government has massive brass cannons pointed right at her to keep her out. Jed's expression turned dark with righteous mountain anger. Well, if that don't beat all. Cannons to keep out a poor, defenseless old MOT tram nom 4-year-old Indian woman? You can't hardly blame her for feeling a bit spiteful, Granny. Is that why she wears all that bright war paint on her face, Honest John? Ellie Mae asked softly. Wouldn't you if somebody pointed massive cannons at you every single day, Miss Ellie Mae? Honest John countered smoothly. Now, you all clearly have deep sympathy and true understanding for her noble cause. She's gonna like you, Jed. I can feel it in my bones. Can we go talk to her now? I will approach her first and ask for a formal audience, Honest John said, stepping forward toward the silent figure. He raised both hands high in the air, palms facing outward, and let out a series of strange, guttural noises. Chattanooga! Honest John shouted at the headdress. Choo-choo! Pale-face Cayuga! The feathered headdress twitched, and a raspy, muffled voice, which sounded remarkably like Shifty trying to sound old, echoed from beneath the wool. Blanket! What did you say, John? Honest John turned back to Jed, nodding reassuringly. I told her you were exceptionally friendly, Jed. Good, Jed nodded. Honest John turned back to the princess, raising his hands again. Pale-faced Sequoia. The raspy voice mumbled something back through the feathers. Honest John smiled at Jed. She says you're remarkably tall, Mr. Clampett. She likes that in a man. Pale-face Anderosa. Honest John continued grandly. He listened to another muffled grumble from the blanket and turned to Jed. She likes your mustache, Jed. Pale-face Tippecanoe. Shoshone too. Honest John turned back to the family, his face full of wonder. She says you are a perfect, magnificent combination of Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. Jed, that's right, Cayuga of her. Jed smiled humbly, bowing his head toward the headdress. Pale-face Potawatomi, Honest John chanted. The figure beneath the blanket suddenly stiffened, letting out a sharp, angry cough. No, no, Potawatomi, the raspy voice hissed. Jed blinked, looking at the con man. What was that last bit, Honest John? Pocket. Well, why don't you take us to the meeting with you? Jethro suggested, pulling his suspenders. We'd like to say howdy to him. And he'd like to say hi-dee to you, Jethro. Honest John countered quickly. Oh golly. However, the Secret Service requires a rigorous security clearance for all White House visitors. Jed frowned slightly. Will that take long? Do you happen to have birth certificates, color photographs, certified passports, and a complete set of federal fingerprints with you right now? Honest John asked, raising an eyebrow. Jed looked at Granny, then back to the con man. Why, no, we ain't. Well, then, I'm afraid it'll take a little while to process. Honest John sighed with mock regret. Meantime, I'll put you all up at a nice, comfortable luxury hotel right down the street. Yeah. Taxi. Chapter 16. The District of Columbia. A short while later, the family was settled into a sprawling, gold-leaf suite on the top floor of a grand hotel overlooking the city. Jed stood by the massive floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out at the marble monuments gleaming in the afternoon sun. These are dainty fine accommodations, Mr. Honest John, Jed remarked, turning back to the room. Well, thank you, Mr. Clampett, Honest John said, bowing slightly as he prepared to make his exit. Here, let me show you something. From this balcony, you have a truly magnificent view over the entire historic city of Washington. Jed nodded, genuinely pleased. Well, isn't that pretty? Granny, believe me, Mr. Honest John is fixing us up real nice here, eh? Jed called out toward the adjoining bedroom. Granny walked into the parlor, carrying a stack of towels. Well, it's all right, Jed, but it ain't like staying right at the White House. Sure ain't, Jethro agreed, rummaging through a fancy, gold-plated bowl of plastic fruit on the sideboard. They got a kitchen over there where a fellow can get a proper snack when he's hungry. Ain't we gonna get to stay at the White House at all, Uncle Jed? Ellie Mae frowned at her cousin. Jethro, don't pay no attention to him, Mr. Honest John. He is acting awful pushy today. Not at all, Miss Ellie Mae, Honest John assured her with a practiced smile. As soon as I have personally straightened out the matter of your federal security clearance, I'm absolutely certain the president and his lovely wife will issue a formal, written invitation to the entire Clampett family. Oh boy, Jethro cheered. Well, you tell them that they ain't taking in a family of freeloaders, Honest John. Jed stated firmly. We'll pitch right in and help with the housework and the chores around the place. I'll make that matter crystal clear to him at our meeting, Honest John promised, backing toward the door. We're glad of life to you. Glad to do it, Jed nodded. See you later, friends, Honest John waved, finally slipping out of the suite and closing the heavy door behind him. Down in the hotel lobby, Honest John hurried over to a secluded corner by the house phones where Shifty was waiting, impatiently, surrounded by their luggage. Shifty, baby, Honest John hissed, pulling the slip of paper from his pocket and waving it triumphantly. How'd it go? Like $1,000,000, and here it is.
$1,000,000.
Shifty's jaw dropped as he stared at the check. Beautiful. I can have us packed and ready for the airport in 9 minutes. Honest John frowned, pulling the check back. Wait a minute, Shifty. Where exactly are we going?
México, Venezuela.
You name it, John. Shifty grinned wildly. Honest John shook his head, a grander, more sinister ambition shining in his eyes. Flo, there are Chin Muoy Bon more where this one came from. Now, don't get greedy, John, Shifty warned, his tone turning cautious. Let's just take our million and play it safe. We can live like kings. Baby, this is the chance of a lifetime, Honest John insisted, tapping the check against his palm. Think big. I'm thinking big, John, Shifty countered darkly. We could get high Muoy years apiece in a federal penitentiary. Honest John scoffed, dismissing the worry with a chuckle. Max, I got those hillbillies right in the palm of my hand. They're like ripe grapes just waiting to be picked. How? Shifty asked, crossing his arms. Well, I got $1,000,000 for smog, didn't I? I'll just get $1,000,000 for something else. Honest John reasoned smoothly. How? Shifty pressed. I'll think of something, Honest John muttered, pacing the marble floor. I'll sell them the White House itself. Shifty stared at him as if he had lost his mind. How? How? Honest John stopped, pointing a finger at his partner. You sound like an Indian, Shifty. Shifty blinked. What? That's it. Honest John cheered, his face lighting up with inspiration. You're gonna be an Indian. What? Shifty gasped. It's beautiful. Honest John laughed, rubbing his hands together. They'll love it. You are going to be the last surviving member of the ancient Columbia Indian tribe. Chapter 17, Princess Sitting Hawk. An hour later, Honest John had returned to the Clampett's luxury suite, his expression heavy with a look of profound, tragic sympathy. Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, and Jethro gathered around him as he sat on the sofa, letting out a deep, dramatic sigh. And that, dear friends, Honest John explained solemnly, is the real, tragic reason why the president is simply too embarrassed to invite you to stay at the White House. Jed tilted his head, utterly bewildered. You mean he don't even own the house he lives in, Honest John? Not so much as a single stick of furniture belongs to him legally, Honest John revealed, shaking his head. That's terrible, Ellie Mae whispered, her heart aching for the poor leader of the country. No wonder he can't ask us to stay, Granny reasoned, her tough exterior softening. I'd feel the exact same way if I was living in somebody else's house. Jed leaned forward. Who owns it then? Honest John leaned in, dropping his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. The White House stands entirely on Indian ground. Granny gasped. No. Yes, Honest John confirmed dramatically. This entire majestic area was once occupied and ruled by the noble Columbia Indians. That is why, to this very day, it is officially called the District of Columbia. Jethro's jaw dropped as the historical pieces finally clicked together in his massive mind. Well, can't the government just buy it from the Indians, Honest John? Ah, there lies the tragedy, Jethro, Honest John sighed. There is only one single surviving member of the ancient Columbia tribe left, and she absolutely refuses to sell her ancestral homeland. She? Ellie Mae asked. Yes, Honest John nodded respectfully. The ancient and venerable Princess Sitting Hawk. Jethro blinked. What noble mean, Honest John? A proud and defiant woman, Jethro, Honest John explained with grand theatricality. Not all the pale-faced pony soldiers in the United States Army can drive her from the sacred land. She feels is rightfully hers. Jed rubbed his mustache, thinking deeply. Why won't she sell it to them? Sitting Hawk does not trust modern politicians, Mr. Clampett, Honest John said simply. She says they all speak with a forked tongue. Well, can't the president get her to sell the White House to him directly? Jethro asked. Honest John shook his head. Every chief executive since Abraham Lincoln has tried and failed miserably, Jethro. Granny's eyes widened. Lincoln? How old is this Indian woman anyway? Well, no one knows for sure, Granny, Honest John muttered mysteriously. But the tribal records suggest she is at least Motram Nam